what Matt Arnold is doing. I think how he's approached it, they're doing it. And, as far as Pat Murphy goes, he deserves the manager of the year. I think even with some of the early season struggles and why I thought Jesse's point was so dumb, he deserves the benefit of the doubt, and I think he did a fantastic job last year. And it's difficult when you lose a guy like Adames, who's the leader in the clubhouse. Mm-hmm. There's a little process that you have to go through. And you can't just say, fire everybody. But you also have to pick up your urgency level, and hopefully that's what's happened.
Jesse, are you taking a victory lap for your brilliance, or are you going to just do the right thing and admit you were wrong to say but not say that you needed to talk about the manager's job status?
And I never called for his job, so I'd like to once again reiterate that point that
you didn't, but you did.
Never said Pat Murphy.
You didn't, but you did.
I didn't. I said that.
Hey, that's what I said.
I asked at what point do we need to start to have a conversation if the team continues to struggle? Turns out after I asked that question,
a conversation about having a conversation, like a chance to have a chance?
At this point, no conversation is needed at all. We can keep on rolling exactly how things have been. Everybody's coming back. 7-3, turned it around. They found out how to score runs again. And what I loved last night, they worked, and on Memorial Day too, worked themselves out of some tight pitching jams late, some more energy. Crowd was a little more into it as you get into May and Memorial Day. Fans are starting to fill up American Family Field a little bit more.
Hot dog night.
That helped.
Dollar hot dog.
That helped.
That's a good little start.
What did I say when they were in Cleveland 2 weeks ago?
I have no idea.
I'll tell you, they were lacking an edge. They didn't have an edge this season. Starting to feel Yelich with a walk-off granny last night.
So the hot dogs provided an edge, or what provided
Abner Uribe out of the bullpen. He's a little firecracker. He's big on the mound.
He's a little firecracker.
Yeah, when he's out on the mound,
that was Marshawn Lloyd.
Very animated out there. I love that. McGill with a big save on Monday.
McGillster.
Yeah, I like what I'm starting to see. A little more edge from this squad. Churio draws a walk last night, and by the way, Homer draws a walk, and then he points to Contreras as he's coming up saying, "You got us," and he's pointing to him as he's trotting to first base. A little more edge, a little more fire. I like it.
Edge.
Are you sure he wasn't pointing past Contreras to Homer in the stand saying, "See, there's a walk for you, you crazy old man"? We will suspend our Brewers talk because we need to get ready for Brian Bulaga, and I want to get to a couple of the questions that went unanswered yesterday from my piece at channel3000.com, but not before Mark Tauscher tells us about Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Well, there was no better time for Pat Murphy and the Brewers to pick up their game than after Jesse called them out, and there is no better time to upgrade your windows and doors than right now because Pella is offering up to 6 years of 0% financing. Set your free in-home consultation. You don't have to commit to nothing at this point, and they'll listen to your vision and suggest the Pella materials and customizations to make it a reality. Get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Certain restrictions do apply. And this deal ends the end of May. May has flown by, man. You only got 3 days left for this 0% over a 6-year period of time. Visit PellaWI.com today to learn more.
What are the questions as OTAs kick off? We'll get to a few of them next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Your current car, soon to be your old car. A new car, better start looking. But you've got this, just like Associated Bank's got you with free credit score and score monitoring on most new consumer checking accounts. Because when you know you need to make a big purchase, knowing your credit score puts you in the driver's seat. You've got this with free credit monitor from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Hey, it's Jason Wilde, and Father's Day is Sunday, June 15th. Get Dad something he can really enjoy. Kringle from Racine Danish Kringles. Order at Kringle.com and send Dad his favorite flavor, like their bourbon pecan. That's my favorite. To complete the gift, you can add a bag of gourmet coffee to your order, and you will be Dad's favorite child. Go to Kringle.com or call 800-4DANISH and have it shipped right to Dad. Kringle.com or 800-4DANISH. Racine Danish Kringles. It's not just a treat, it's a tradition.
Fisco is always there for your auto body care. When accidents happen, Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin is there when you need them. Got a broken mirror? They'll take care of it. Dented bumper? Scratch paint? Fisco Auto Body will take care of it. If there's any damage you need fixed, Fisco has you covered. Their expert workmanship is guaranteed for the life of your vehicle. So stop in for all of your auto bumps and dings. Once again, you know the line. That's Fisco.
Brewers and Padres action is coming at you June 6th through the 8th. Catch an electric weekend of baseball as two of the game's youngest superstars square off. The first Friday game of June means Wisconsinites can grab half-off tickets to the Brewers series opener on the 6th, then score one of the top giveaways of the season, a Jackson Churio replica jersey presented by Chevrolet for the first 25,000 ticketed fans through the gates June 7th. Get seats at Brewers.com.
If you're trying to get through your daily activities and you're noticing you can't because you're focusing more on your pain than being able to enjoy the moment, those are the patients that we're looking to treat because we can make a difference.
That's Dr. Ashley Caravelli, Milwaukee's medical director for QC Kinetics.
What we're doing at QC Kinetics is offering treatments that help with joint preservation. We use cutting-edge technology in our in-house lab to harness your body's natural healing powers and target the areas where you need them the most.
These are regenerative, non-surgical treatments, and QC Kinetics is the nation's leader, delivering lasting relief to tens of thousands of patients.
What we do know is that the sooner we start treatment, the sooner you'll see relief.
So don't wait another minute. See if you're a good candidate for these non-surgical treatments for joint pain. The consultation is completely free.
Weekend appointments available. Call now. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
It's party time at Cousins Subs. For a limited time only, Cousins 2-foot party subs are back. Choose from the club, ham and provolone, Italian special, or turkey. Each party sub is just $39.99. Feeds 5 to 8 people and requires 24-hour notice to order. And now you can complete your party by adding a party chip bag and a dozen chocolate chip cookies for just $4.99. Order today in store, online, or on the app. Cousins Subs. We believe in better.
At Potawatomi, where ways to win are endless, another chance to capture epic cash and prizes comes Friday, June 27th. It's the season finale blockbuster drawings. Watch your entries from Enchanted Spins, Unreal Treasures, and Boundless Bounty come together for drawings where $300,000 in cash and prizes is there for the taking. Be there to win your share. June 27th only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. More info online. Must be 21 years old to play.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Brian Bulaga coming up at the bottom of the hour. Packers OTAs kickoff. Well, they kicked off yesterday. Today's the first one that we get to attend as reporters. I do not believe it is open to fans, which I still think is one of the many things that they do that belies the fact that they are owned by the community and owned by the fans.
Do we know, did we ever get an answer why they don't just, is it security, is it cost, why are we not letting 1,000 people go down on the rail and watch?
Yeah, it's football doesn't want their football out for everyone's consumption. I believe that's the answer.
All right, that's really dumb.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I remember the days when you were a player and we went to every single practice and you had a better feel for where guys were at. I've said this before. I'll say it again. Somebody yesterday could have had a terrible day, and today then they go out and they have a really good day, and we're all going to talk about how good they were, even though they were terrible yesterday, or vice versa, as Tausch likes to say. And they were great yesterday, but they stunk today, and we all talk about, boy, did you see so-and-so? They looked rough. Yeah, I would like to be at every practice, but that's not
I guess
how this works.
I just don't understand. You're not putting in plays against Detroit today.
You are not.
And you're letting the media in. Why would you not let fans come watch? I can't get my head wrapped around why that would be something that you'd – I couldn't understand why you don't announce and celebrate contract extensions for your top two lieutenants. Mm-hmm. And I can't understand this. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. I want to have it make sense.
Make it make sense.
And I am open to someone making it make sense to me. I am not obtuse enough to say I have all the answers. I have ideas.
Pretty obtuse.
Sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong. I don't know why, if you're going to have the media there, why you won't let people – you're not going to have thousands of people there today, but you might. And last time I checked, you built this big old pro shop and you have all this – I guess I don't understand, and I want to understand.
I do know that one of their concerns, frustrations, issues, they limit how much we're allowed to take video or photos. It's hard to limit the fans. Now, during training camp, there's more of them as well, but that is definitely a sticking point for them. They don't want video out on social media platforms. Now, do I think maybe they do? Maybe the Detroit Lions have a staffer who combs the random Twitter accounts and Instagram accounts of Packers fans looking for video that would just give them plays.
This? Like you still have fans come out during training camp.
You do,
and you're much more likely. I guess again, man, they're going to do their business the way they want to, and Lord knows they're uber successful at what they're doing. I don't get this though. Your fans are going to. You want fans to come. And here you go. You're not going to be showing what coverage you're going to have on Amon St. Brown or Jamison Williams. You're not. Like, that's not what today or these OTAs are. It would be nice, I'm sure, for fans to look at Matthew Golden. Get a look. Oh, his belt and cape. And, again, you don't have to. I would love to understand why.
I can promise you that when I have if and when I have a sit down with Ed Policy, this will be among the questions that I have for him. Because if I have one issue with the organization, and again, this is not just me
ticket prices
up in my ivory tower. Well, that's a subset of my issue. Okay. Is that they love the narrative that they're owned by the fans, that they are the only ones without a deep-pocketed billionaire owner, but they don't necessarily treat their fan base as if they're appreciative of the fact that they're the owners. And whether that's with ticket prices or concession prices, whether that's with being shareholders who get nothing. I was giving Kyle from Kyle Brust and Norman a hard time the other day because he's a shareholder, and he was bragging about how the Packers let them buy special shareholder merchandise. I said, wait, so one of the perks of being a shareholder is that you get the right to spend more money with them? They don't give you a polo shirt. They give you the chance to buy a polo shirt that says shareholder on it. Yeah,
I
that's
like
what they
that.
do.
I think that's actually a good idea. I like it. You can kind of brag that it's exclusive.
Right. Or you could just give that to them since they spent $250 on a piece of stock.
I'm not in the world to just give stuff when you're running a business, which they are. I get your point.
With $500 million in the reserve fund.
Jason, I'm not going to tell. Why don't you start breaking down all these big endowment funds from universities to them?
No, I'm not.
That's not.
They're not the ones coming out saying that they're owned by the fans, bro. That's my point.
Well,
let's not get lost in the weeds.
Okay, again, I'm not going to get into that with you. Here's what I want to say. Your point on this, being voice of the fans and all this other stuff. Running a business, I want you to make money. Otherwise, you won't have a business. So I want the Packers to develop Titletown, and I want them. And this goes against everything that is. You want fans to come and drink at your bars and go play golf at your little golf shop. And now you got a workout club, and you have all this other stuff. And then you're not giving access to people to come and watch, where they would go and spend money at the pro shop, and they'd go do the tours and all the other stuff. That's the issue I have. That you are a capitalistic, you are a money-making machine. And you know what? Kudos to you. But then in this case, you're not. And it's not given a competitive disadvantage, because that could be the argument, and I get it. That's not what this is. So that's the problem I have. It doesn't make any sense. And I want to make it make sense because I know that they want to give fans a good experience, and I know that they want to make money. And you have both sitting here right on a tee, and instead of swinging the club, you say, I'm going to put the ball away. I'm just going to go home. Doesn't make any sense. So.
What does make sense is that on our calendar a little later in June, after the mandatory minicamp is over, we will be headed again to Hard Rock Casino Rockford.
Oh, we will. I think I'm going to take a dabble at those Denver Broncos. I think I'm going to take a look. Because the Hard Rock Casino Rockford, it features over 175,000 square feet of gaming and entertainment space, including more than 1,300 slot machines, 50 live table games, a sports book that I believe Jesse J. Nelson may have made a really wise
one more win.
And a rock shop. And if you're hungry, we had a great lunch there. You're going to have diverse dining options at the Hard Rock Cafe. You got Council Oak Steaks, seafood, bricked Italian kitchen. I really want to try the UU Noodle Bar. Street tacos and constant grind. Hard Rock Live entertainment venue is also 23,000 square feet. And I believe someone in the news, Terry Bradshaw, going to be heading on down to the old Hard Rock Casino. I know our team will be down there asking him a bunch of questions. I would bet, you think Pablo's got to go down there, doesn't he, Jesse, and create some content with Terry Bradshaw and Aaron Rodgers and all that good stuff? All right?
Sure, yeah. I don't know if Terry's available for an exclusive, but he's doing a show.
Oh, I got a hunch. Terry Bradshaw will be available for an exclusive. Terry Bradshaw's going to talk to anybody that puts a microphone up in his face. Hard Rock Casino, again, down in Rockford, a premier entertainment destination just off of I-90 in Rockford, Illinois.
Brian Bulaga, who is from Illinois, went to Iowa, played in Wisconsin, and lives in Florida, joins us next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Mark Tauscher here, and these days I am sleeping better than ever. I am so thankful I met with the great team at Advent to help solve my sleeping problems. The Advent team is so great to work with, and their consultations are very informative. The Advent team listened to my struggles, and rather than forcing a surgery, they helped me find the best solution for a better night's sleep. My family and I are so thankful the solutions from Advent worked. To see how they can help you with snoring, sleep apnea, and nasal breathing problems, go to adventknows.com, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman, here to tell you about my friends at Bank 5-9. Everywhere I go throughout the area, I see Bank 5-9, and it's no wonder why. Not only do they have 14 branch locations, but their employees spend nearly 9,000 hours each year volunteering in the communities that they serve. That's on top of the financial support that they provide to several hundred nonprofits right here in southeastern Wisconsin. If you're looking for a true local community bank, check them out today at bank59.com. Member FDIC.
Your Pella experience starts with a free in-home consultation.
It was a really comfortable kitchen table chat. We knew Pella was going to get it right the first time, and they designed a project with us. They didn't just replace our windows and doors.
There are so many options that are available, so it was nice to have someone narrow those down, and they made sure that the design was what we wanted.
Don't wait. Get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 5/31/2025.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Freddie Coleman.
Hey, Minnesota, how dare you blow an opportunity like this? How dare you allow the others, not known as Anthony Edwards, to look and play like that? And I'm not dismissing what Jaire Alexander was able to do. 40 points, 10 assists, only the 8th player in NBA playoff history in the conference final or the NBA finals to have such a number. But he got help from Jalen Williams. In a game like this, after what you did to do that, and then you come back and have your 2 best players look like that in Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle, that's where the series is going to be lost. You had a chance to put more doubt in the minds of Oklahoma City, and you didn't do it. If they got anything from Julius Randle, they win this game. Yep. If they got anything early on from Anthony Edwards, they win this game. But they didn't. And if they don't win the series, they can circle that the others were better than you were when it comes to Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle.
Something amazing is happening in networking. Organizations are scaling with less stress. That's because CDW is designing and implementing intelligent HPE Aruba networking solutions that simplify and secure operations. With automation at the center of your data center, growing pains can be a thing of the past. HPE Aruba Networking and CDW. Make amazing happen. Learn more at cdw.com/Aruba.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code JOEQ, J-O-E-Q, to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
ESPN Wisconsin's Brian Bulaga here for my new friends at Surfside. There's only one thing better than Surfside and golf, and that's Surfside iced teas and lemonade plus vodka on the golf course. This golf season, there's no better drink to enjoy on the golf course. Surfside is light, refreshing, and made with real vodka and real brewed tea. Plus, there's only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, and 0 bubbles. That's right, no carbonation. Cheers to hitting the fairway, and cheers to Surfside. It's tea time. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
Brian Bulaga on Wilde and Tausch is brought to you by Surfside. Surfside iced tea and vodka and Surfside lemonade and vodka. It's light, refreshing, and has 0 bubbles. It's perfect for a day on the golf course or a day at American Family Field. Cheers to Surfside.
Some famous friends you probably never heard of, but back in Rutherford County, our crowd is second to none. You might not city we're in, but when I go back home, I've got some famous friends. Yeah, I do.
You know what that music means. It's time for our famous friend. And I'm going to ask him to make a prediction based on no information whatsoever, because I haven't seen a practice yet. It is our friend Brian Bulaga and our favorite former Packers right tackle. Brian, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm excited to watch an OTA practice. The first one that's opened us is today. There was one yesterday. Here's my question. Where do you think, because we don't really know, Anthony Belton, their second-round pick, and John Williams, whose name, as Tausch pointed out, is very bland, not to be confused with John Williams.
He needs a nickname. He needs a
the rocket scientist. He's the rocket scientist.
All right.
Where will they line up? Because here's the problem. We have been told that Anthony Belton is not part of the left tackle competition. It's Jordan Morgan versus Rasheed Walker. So does that mean he's going to be the competition for Zach Tom at right tackle? Is he going to be the competition for Sean Ryan at right guard? What do you expect, knowing that I'm not going to hold you to this? I'm just curious what you're thinking.
Yeah, I mean, my guess is he will be lining up at right guard, would be my first guess. That'll be where he starts off at, behind Sean Ryan. And he'll probably get some snaps at right tackle at some point. Again, I don't think there's going to be much of a competition at right tackle. But there's got to be a plan at right tackle, right? If something were to happen. So someone's going to have to take some snaps there, right? I mean, and Zach Tom's not taking every snap during camp, so someone's got to take the 2 snaps there. So I would imagine he's going to get some reps there. And I would imagine whoever doesn't win the left tackle job as well will also get some snaps at right tackle. So I think it's going to be a rotation of what Belton does from right guard to right tackle, and it's good that he'll probably just stay on that right side and just bounce around from those 2 spots, would be my guess.
Well, that is the thing that I'm most intrigued by today. And again, I don't know who we will get to talk to. We do not get to go in the locker room because the home locker room is being renovated, and apparently that brand spanking new third locker room for Man City when they come to play games here is not large enough for us to be in there. So we'll get a few selected players, Jordan Love and a few others. It was.
Was that an eye roll by you?
It was. Yeah. I don't think I ask for a lot, but I would like to be able to choose who I talk to instead of having them chosen for me. So I'm not a fan of that. But hopefully Zach Tom is among them, so we can ask him, hey, how do you feel about having to compete for your job while you're in a contract year and we all thought you were getting an extension? I'm also so I don't know who we're going to talk to. We'll wait and see on that. I'm also curious to see what the wide receivers do. I guess I'm taking requests from you two. What would you like me to keep my eye on today?
Well, is Elton Jenkins going to be there today?
I don't know. I have not corresponded with him. I don't know. But I will be watching to see if he's there and if Jacob Monk is going to be at center instead, because he's not.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good question. If Elton's not there, who's playing center? Because, I mean, I guess my question would be, if Elton's not there, I mean, I don't think he'll be there. I don't know why he would show up to do OTAs.
Right.
I don't know why he would show up to do that if he wasn't there, the last few weeks.
A workout bonus. Maybe he has a workout bonus. That's why he'd be there.
Yeah, but he's already missed that. That's okay. Already gone. Yeah. I mean, if it's 90%, like we always remember it to be, he's already missed the 90% of it. Like, that's gone. That's, you miss that many days, it's toast. But let's just put it this way. Say, Elton is the starter at center, right? They figure it out, and Elton breaks a chin strap. Who moves into that position? Is that Sean Ryan? Does Sean Ryan move into that position and take snaps at center? Is it Monk? Who is the person that then takes over at that position that they trust to make the IDs, to kind of run the show there? So that is something that is worth noting and paying attention to during this time, right? I mean, I think, obviously this period is a lot of learning, a lot of teaching. So, guys aren't, there's still competition, don't get me wrong, but it's not as cutthroat as it would be in the summer, right? So Monk could go out there and take all the snaps, and it's okay. It's not that big of a deal. But once you put pads on, it's a different story, right? There's a lot more responsibility and things that guys are, it's just different. We'll just put it that way. So that'll be interesting to see. And I think the one thing would be I'd like to see too, Jason, is in how equally are they splitting the left tackle reps? Is it dead 50-50? Or that's what I would like to see. Or they each get an equal amount of ones, and equal amount of twos, or like how is that working out? Like how is that looking? So is she taking reps with the twos all of a sudden now? This guy started at left tackle for how many?
34 games.
Now he's got to split reps at the twos. Like it's interesting to me how that's going to play out. So that's something that I'd like to know how that works.
Blue, why do you think they went with Jordan Morgan exclusively at guard and didn't put him out there? And then after watching him play, do you just think they view him more suited to play left tackle, or do you think that's coming from Jordan Morgan saying, I want to play left tackle?
Listen, players can obviously speak their mind about where they want to play and give their opinion, right? I mean, they're more than welcome to, and coaches can take that input and they can do what they want with it, right? But they don't have to meet that demand at all, like, right? Like I could have, after I blew my knee out, I could have came back and said, well, I want to compete for a left tackle. I don't want to go back to right tackle. I want to still stay at left tackle. I mean, why do I get kicked out of that position just because I tore my ACL? That's ridiculous. But they would have looked at me and said, too bad. Like, you're going back to right tackle. Just deal with it. So I don't think that's it. Maybe they looked at it more. He's a tackle. Right, like, and you know, we didn't get to see too much of him play guard, so like, it's hard to judge him based off how little we saw of him, right? And that's the problem with making a true judgment on him as a player. You saw him play a little bit in preseason as a tackle, and like, the way he moves is like a tackle. Like, you see the way he moves and his footwork and like how he just kind of, you know, gets out of his stance and everything screams to me tackle. So to move him inside, it just doesn't, to me, it doesn't fit. So like the fit is at tackle. So that move makes sense to me. Obviously the shoulder.
Yeah, but Blue,
like
listen, man, that's where he played. That's why I just was so surprised that the competition was over day 2 last year of training camp, and then it moved him in. And so I just wonder if they watched him, or with the injury to his shoulder, if they were just like, all right, we drafted you to be the left tackle. We don't want to – you think it's more of we don't want to pay Sheed and we need to find a guy, or do you think this is where Jordan Morgan is a tackle, that's where we need to play him?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's – I don't think it's like we don't want to pay Sheed. Like I don't want to look at it that way as much. Like, cause I don't want to like get after Sheed here, right? Like, 'cause I think the guy's played really good, that he deserves to get money from somebody, right? Like, I think that's I want to make that well known. He's played well. I just think that I'll relate it back to my situation as a rookie. Like, obviously, I wasn't better than Cliff. I wasn't better than you coming in as a rookie. So what'd they do to me? They tried to put me in at guard. They tried to have me compete at left guard, and I was absolutely terrible at it. So guess what? I sat the bench. That's what happened. So, like,
what you've said.
That's how I kind of saw, like, that's what I kind of, like, see what what Jordan Morgan kind of went through. Like, he competed with Sheed as a rookie. He wasn't going to beat him out. So, like, that's the way it went. So they moved him inside, and that's where he competed. And obviously the shoulder injury happened, and, you know, that's the way it worked out. So now he's going back outside to compete.
But, Brian, that's the part I don't get, because she didn't get worse. He got another 17 games of experience under him. And you didn't think he could compete and beat him out last year, but now you do? Like, I that's the part I guess I'm confused. So is it more he can because he's a year stronger and he understands it more? That battle is going to be really fun for, I think, you and I and for everybody to watch unfold, because that's the battle of, if your coach isn't the GM, the coach is always going to go Sheed because he's done it and he's proven it. But the GM is always looking at, so he's a first-round pick. Unless there's he's just that much better. It's going to be really fun to watch that battle play out and who ends up winning it, and then what the after effects of whoever loses it, how they approach their job, and if there's another spot on the line for them to play.
Yeah. And and I just want to, and Tausch, you may look at it different than I do. And Jason, I know you know, when you guys are on the sidelines for training camp, you guys look at this differently as well than I always did as a player when we were out there. And Tausch, I know when you were out there as a player, you hated this too. But I just don't want people to get carried away with what happens with the one-on-one reps that these guys do against our D line, right? And I know there's a lot of stock put into it. Who wins in the one-on-one reps? And then if Sheed wins a one-on-one rep and Morgan has a bad day, and then the next day it's vice versa. Don't put a lot of stock into those reps. Those aren't the reps that are going to win and lose a job based, through camp. They just won't. I always looked at those reps as something that you could do for a new technique, to try something new, to see if that will work. I never looked at that as oh my gosh, if I don't win this rep, this is like a really bad ordeal for me. I looked at it as something to try something new, like a jump set, a short set, a deep, always trying something new. So don't take into account those reps. The reps that matter, as I always looked at it, were the team reps. Right, the team reps are huge, and then when you get into these joint practices, now that they're doing joint practices, those are the reps that count. Those reps and how those guys are doing in these joint sessions are the ones that matter. So when you see these guys going against the other teams, those are going to be the ones that count, and they always will be. And I know that Rob, and I'll get on Rob about it too once the season starts. I know he likes to keep his tally. He loves his tally. He's been doing it probably as long as he's been reporting, but the tally,
he's done it forever.
It's fun to keep it. I get it. But that won't be the deciding factor of this thing. It just won't. It's fun to keep. It's fun to watch. It's an intense drill. But there's more to it than just that. And it will be a fun battle to watch. That is for sure.
Blue, I'm telling you, I know you're pleading for these guys, the Wildes, the Demoskis of the world, to not put that out to their fans. But that's like telling a toddler when there's a steaming pot, hey, don't go touch that. You know they're going to go touch it. You know they can't help themselves. That is what because it's easy and it's right there. So I agree with what you're saying, but that is not how the reality of what happens in training camp does. Jason?
I don't keep those stats.
No, I don't keep those stats.
Well, I don't.
Report them. At Channel 3000, you'll have an article written as the day is long. Jordan Morgan got beat today, did Rasheed Walker stone Rashawn Gary? I think Rasheed is pulled into the lead. I will bet donuts to dollars something of that ilk will happen in your paper.
Yeah. Well, okay. A couple things. One, there is no paper.
Website.
Second, I will not write.
I've really gotten better at not correcting you, he says, Brian. I don't even correct you anymore.
You did get after him a bit there.
Just defending myself. Second, I don't think I will write. I think Rasheed Walker has pulled ahead of Jordan Morgan. What I will write is Rasheed Walker got X number of snaps with the ones compared to Jordan Morgan, which would be an indicator that perhaps he's moved forward.
But how are they doing those one-on-ones?
The only time I have used the one-on-one stats was the year that Lucas Patrick, as an undrafted free agent who got a contract after being a tryout guy, went undefeated in camp, which was crazy. And that did help his chances of getting onto the practice squad that first year. He was one of those great, holy crap, this guy came out of nowhere. And he was, I think, doing it with a brace on his hand or something after he broke his thumb during training camp. So I'm with Blue. I will write if Rasheed Walker stones, to use your phrase, Rashawn Gary in an 11-on-11 period in pads, you're damn right I'm going to point that out. Now, maybe that'll be because Sean Gary went from having this monster camp last year to not being the elite pass rusher that we were anticipating during the actual season, or maybe it'll be about the left tackle job. All right, Brian.
You could double dip. You could double dip. Say,
two stories in
doing
one.
Great.
Yeah.
Rashawn sucks.
It's a
you
breath
could double dip
mint.
it.
I do want to discuss the Jaire Alexander situation because, as Tausch and I talked about yesterday, I think the most interesting thing in Matt Schneidman's very good story on The Athletic was not the fact that the Packers have an offer on the table to Jaire Alexander. That is not what I think is most interesting. I think it's interesting that he plans on showing up, whether he's got the deal in place or not.
I thought you were going to tease that out.
And we will ask
really
Brian.
Like anticipating what that was.
And we will ask Brian if he agrees with my theory, which I will tell you next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance. The 2015 Wisconsin men's hoops team gave us all a march to remember.
There will be no undefeated champion on Wisconsin with an unbelievable stretch drive to the championship game.
On June 26th, enjoy an intimate celebration with the stars of the run with Made 'em Believe. Presented by M3 Insurance, world-class expertise and individual attention. Tickets are on sale now at uwhoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe, June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison.
Forget average. At Exterior Pros, they bring the heat. They're not here to meet standards. They're here to smash them. From the first swing of the hammer to the final reveal, they're leveling up your home with every window, every shingle, and every single detail. This isn't just a remodel. It's a glow up for your house. Built tough, built beautiful, built to turn heads. Want in? Let's go. Lock in your project now and save $3,000. Exterior Pros, where bold meets built. Trust the pros and visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
Ever notice how wine enthusiasts often speak a completely different language? And while that language may technically be English, to most people it's anything but. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor, where we stock over 8,000 varieties of wine and speak many dialects of wine English to help everyone, from the wine novice to the master sommelier. So if you need an expert recommendation for wine, or maybe you know what you want and simply need help locating it, our experienced staff has got your back. No matter the budget, occasion, or your level of wine expertise, Discount Liquor will make you feel at home. Discount Liquor, unmatched selection, everyday low prices, a helpful staff, and 2 convenient locations. In Milwaukee on 51st and Oklahoma, and in downtown Waukesha on Barstow and Maine.
Discount Liquor.
At Potawatomi, where ways to win are endless, another chance to capture epic cash and prizes comes Friday, June 27th. It's the season finale blockbuster drawings. Watch your entries from enchanted spins, unreal treasures, and boundless bounty come together for drawings where $300,000 in cash and prizes is there for the taking. Be there to win your share. June 27th only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. More info online. Must be 21 years old to play.
The power of Dell AI with Intel Inside is transforming the world of pro sports. Teams can see curveballs coming with predictive analytics. Coaches can use AI insights to help players improve their shots in real time. And fans can get more out of every winning moment with AI-enhanced replays.
Unbelievable! What a play!
See how Dell Technologies with Intel Inside can power your wins at Dell.com/win.
2 guys drove to work. Neither guy wore a seatbelt. One guy got a ticket. One guy didn't. The same 2 guys drove home. One guy wore his seatbelt. One guy didn't. One guy made it home. The guy not wearing his seatbelt didn't. Don't risk it. Click it or ticket. Paid for by NHTSA.
Brewers fans, this is your chance for you and your crew to cheer on our crew while they're on the road this summer. Visit brewers.com/ExploreMN to enter for your chance to win Game Day Getaway Sweepstakes. Presented by Explore Minnesota. One lucky winner will receive 4 tickets to the games on July 21st and 22nd in Minneapolis, 2 nights of hotel accommodations, and a $1,500 Visa gift card. Don't wait, the sweepstakes ends May 29th. No purchase necessary. See brewers.com/ExploreMN for official rules.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Famous friends you probably never heard of, but back in Rutherford County, our crowd is second to none. You might not know them here in this big city we're in, but when I go back home, I've got...
Tausch, while I appreciated your assistance with my tease,
it was such a great setup by you. The guy was like, oh, I'm so proud of him. He's teasing this out, and then you start spilling the beans. Pretty good.
It was because I needed you to tell us about Coors Light before we went to that break.
Oh, Coors Light. I love a good tease, and I love a good Coors Light. Brewed with that 3-step cold process, cold lager, cold filtered, and cold packaged, so it is made to chill and make sure those mountains are blue and the clouds are asymmetrical. That's when you know Coors Light is chilled to perfection. That's why it is Coors Light in my hand when I need a moment to chill. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Continuing with the great Brian Bulaga on Wilde and Tausch. All right, Brian, as I so adeptly but not really teased at the end of the final of the last segment. So Jaire Alexander, per The Athletic, has a contract offer from the Packers on the table. This long-running saga still has not reached its end game. And according to this story, the Packers' offer has not been accepted by Jaire Alexander or his agent, John Thornton. And according to a source that Matt Steinman is quoting, Jaire intends to come to the mandatory minicamp, report to the mandatory minicamp, or even report earlier than that. So perhaps next week's OTAs, hell, he could be there right now for all I know. We'll find out. And everyone, it felt like this was like, there was this feeling of, oh, this is great. You know, they're getting closer to him being a Packer. And he's even willing to come in, even though they haven't addressed his contract situation. Is this not a power play move by him? Because they have not wanted him to take part in the offseason program without getting his contract adjusted to protect them from injury. Because they don't want him to pop his Achilles, and then they're on the hook for $16.15 million for this year. This is not some sort of magnanimous move of, oh, God, I'm such a good team player. I'm going to come in even though my contract situation's not resolved. He's under contract for more than they are going to want to give him this year. Is this not, am I misreading this? Am I, for lack of a better term, obtuse? Or is this more than meets the eye like Transformers?
No, I mean, I think this is, to me, it's a good move by Jaire. Like, I think it's a good move. It's a smart move. I mean, if I'm him, I'm going in. I'm going in and participating. And, like, that is his right, bargained under the CBA, that he is allowed, he's under contract to go in and work out with the team. If he is not, if he's not allowed to go in, then there is an issue there with the team and the union. Like, that's an issue. Like, you can't keep him away. Like, there's a problem there. So if I'm him, I'm reporting and I'm showing up and I'm participating and I'm making sure that I'm there and I'm because as of right now, he's still on the roster. And we were talking about this all the way back during, the combine, and then the combine went through, and there was nothing, right? No, nothing happened, and the draft, he's still on the roster. He is on the team, regardless of what continues to get reported. He is on the team, adjusted contract or not. He is on the team. So, to me, show up, do what you need to do, and if the contract gets adjusted, it will in due time. But continue to go about your business and participate with the team, and that's the way I would look at it.
So did you ever serve as a NFLPA rep, or were you smart enough to avoid that job?
I always avoided that.
Okay. So, Tausch, what happens if he does, as Brian and I are saying, and he shows up and the Packers don't want him to participate until they've lowered his salary and his cap number? What happens then?
So they basically have to come to an agreement together that any monies that were supposed to be paid via workout incentive or whatnot, if you're restricting him, now you have to let him come in the building. You can work out an agreement and say, all right, well, we'll give you your workout bonus, but you can't come in the building. You can negotiate and work all that stuff out. But if he wants to come in, he's coming in. And if the Packers can also say, well, we're going to release you, or we're going to put you on a list. Now, you can't just throw people on I think it's the not able to perform list, or there's something. You can't just do that without cause. And typically, if you are trying to play a power play move, which you're saying he may be doing, you're then going to try and figure that piece of it out, because that's not going to be good for any party involved. But the issue is, from Jaire's standpoint, I would bet, again, I keep going donuts to dollars here, I would bet that the Packers offer, and in Schneidman's article, the Packers have put an offer out to him. It is very low. And he guarantees the $16 million, that's a fart in the wind. I thought $6 million. I wouldn't be surprised if it was lower than that. Because if I'm Jaire, I have to look at this reasonably and say, I don't know who's going to give me a $10 million guarantee next year. I don't think anybody will. Now, is 6 fair? I think with his talent and what he's proven, even though he's been hurt for a vast majority of the last 4 seasons, he wants to get that more, and he wants resolution. And if it's not going to be the Packers, then he has to start looking in another direction. And the only way to actually get that release, because there is no roster bonus or, I guess, artificial deadline, would be to force the Packers' hand. Because I know this. The Packers were very sensitive. There is a group of us that they cut after that labor, whatever you want to call it, strike or lockout, whatever it was. And it was very clear to us that you can come in the building, but there is not much you can do, because if you do drop a weight on your foot, or if you yank a hammy, putting your shorts on, you're going to be on the hook for that period. Now, obviously, a hammy, that's 3 weeks. You bust a toe or tear an Achilles, that $16 million is going to get paid, and they're not going to do that. So Jaire and his team might be looking at this and saying, all right, let's at least get this ball rolling, and this will force Green Bay to give us their best offer or to release us.
Right.
Because there needs to be a resolution at some point.
So what were you allowed to do? You were allowed to go to the cafeteria and get a snack, or when?
No, it was at that point, if you remember, there's a couple of things canceled, and then they came to the Hall of Fame game got canceled. And in essence, what it was, you could start going through your physical, but you could not. You go into the weight room, and they're like, you can't lift, you can't do anything. And by the way, you're getting cut. I mean, that was the gist of the conversation that we had. It's cold
It's a tough league, man. Holy cow.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you remember, Mike Golick told us the story of his finishing his career in Miami. And he had a knee injury that he was, and everybody was saying, get back out there. And they cleared him. It blew, this. You'd go and remember you'd walk out that side door of the, over by the showers, and you'd walk out and then you go to your car and you go down to practice. Well, Golick is explaining it. They clear him. And then once they clear him and he agrees to it, all of a sudden any back of the sever, any of the stuff, the injury, that goes bye-bye. So he walks out after he's got his helmet, he's going down to practice. He wants to make the team, he wants to get back out there. And there's literally somebody right there at the door saying, turn your helmet in, you're gone. That's the business that the NFL is, and it's gotten better, but it's still as cutthroat as it's ever been.
Yep.
How did you find out that you were done with the Chargers?
It was, what was it? 2 days or a day before a roster bonus was supposed to be paid, I got a call. Like, I just got a call and said, we're going to release you. And I was like, I assumed that.
You figured it was coming.
I assumed that was going to happen. I mean, it was kind of at that, it was funny because I was already, I knew it was coming because we were at the house in California actually cleaning out the house. That's how positive I was that it was coming. Like, me and Abby were like cleaning out the house, and I'm like, if this doesn't happen, what are we doing? Like, what are we gonna do? Like, I don't know what's gonna happen here. Like, we're getting rid of all this stuff, and if this doesn't happen, like,
you have to get an apartment.
What are we gonna do here? Yeah, like, I don't know. We're loading up a pod thing. Like, if they don't cut me, like, I don't know what's gonna happen here. But sure as it was, like around like 9 o'clock that night, phone rang, and that's what it was.
So was Sitton's release the biggest? Because Tausch and I that was the first year we were doing the show that happened. It was like a couple of weeks into us even having a show. Was that the biggest surprise? Was that if there was ever a guy getting cut, was that, or were there, I know he was talking about being unhappy about playing the last year of his contract out and not getting an extension. But that, for me anyway, that is the biggest surprise that I've ever had as a covering cuts at the end of training camp.
Yeah, I was obviously very surprised about it, knowing how productive he was as a player and how good he was. Just like everything I knew about him, and obviously what he meant to our O-line room and what he was to the team. Everything that was what was going on with him contractually at the time, and anything that was going on outside of between the lines, right? Like, but between he and his agent and what happened, like, I had no idea, right? Like, I was still technically very young at that point. Like, I had no idea what was going on. Like, I was a young kid at that. What do I know, right? Like, I have no clue. I was still in my first year, first contract. I think that was probably year 3. Yeah, that was probably year 3 for me. So, like, or 4. Well, I don't even know what it was.
No, wrong.
What was that?
Dude, you were not a young man anymore. It was 2016. Well, you were a rookie in 2010.
Okay, so that was 2016.
You were an old, wily veteran.
Oh, so that was year 6. Okay, so maybe that was. Okay, so my timeline's way off. Oh, my gosh, what am I thinking of?
Time flies when you're so good.
No, it's just a lot of games, a lot of different years. I think to me it was more of the shock factor, simply because, first of all, you think about the group as a whole, right? Like, you think about the cohesion of the group. When you go into a season, you think about the guys you're playing. It's like, okay, like, we know we have a left guard. Sitton's really damn good, like all Pro Bowl type level player. Then you got Corey. And then you got Dave, and then you got, TJ was still there at the time, I believe, right? Yeah, TJ hadn't left yet. So, and you got TJ. So, like,
and they got you.
So, like, you're essentially returning that same line that you've had for, a long while there. So, like, it's a good offensive line. Like, what you're getting. And then when one of those key pieces goes, you get a little nervous, right? Like, and obviously that's where Lane was inserted and had to step up and play, and he did a good job. But, like, it was just very surprising, right? Very surprising, and it kind of woke me up to the reality of like, this can happen to anybody. And like, there were examples of that throughout time, right? Like of different position groups on the team, obviously, but when it happens like dead in your face to someone that you've played next to for a long time and you've been around with for a long time, it's a little different, right? Like it hits you a different way. Obviously how things happened with Tausch, and then obviously with like Cliffy, like, yeah, I was around those guys for like a year. Like, right. Like I was obviously played, games and things with them, but like I wasn't as close with them at the time. But like I was around sitting for, 5 years. So like it hits differently when it's someone that you've been around for a while, built relationships with. So it opens your eyes to like, man, if it happened to this guy, it's certainly going to happen to me at some point. Like no doubt. So, like Tausch said, it is a cold business. It is a cold business.
And Blue, that's why for everybody, and I think it's changed. There's been a shift, but for the people that are saying, Elton Jenkins, get your get your butt in here. You have 2 years left on your deal. You know what? You're never going to hear me say that. Elton Jenkins, do your deal. Do what you need to do before you switch positions in the back end of your career with nothing guaranteed left. No. You work out what you think is best, and the Packers will work out what they think is best. And if you can't come to a conclusion on it, you do you. And anybody that looks at it any other way is just looking at it and is kind of like, oh, well, he signed that deal. Well, yeah, but you know what? Use the leverage that you have when you have it. And I hope Elton gets that done and before he reports back to camp. And maybe we'll find out a little bit more about that today with our guy, Jason J. Wilde.
All right. I lied. One last thing for you because of what you said there about cohesion. And this is a different scenario in 2025 than it was in 2016 when they cut Sitton and Lane Taylor moved into the starting lineup. In any way, do competitions, especially if allegedly there are 3 of them out of the 5 spots, and one other spot is a guy who has played the position before of center but has not played it extensively in the NFL and is also not taking part in the offseason program, is cohesion going to be any more difficult for this group this year than past years because of all these moving pieces? Oh, and by the way, the 5th guy has never played for the Packers before. He came in as a free agent.
Yeah, I think it will be a little difficult to start, especially if Elton, I'm just assuming Elton's going to get in, but they're going to figure it out by training camp. That's my assumption, right?
Yeah.
Like by camp, they'll have this thing figured out. So by camp, Elton's back in there, and that's the piece that gets everyone back online with the snap count, making IDs, and that's like the thing that everyone has to like base all their timing off of. So that's very important. But then getting, the new left guard used to potentially 2 left tackles. It's difficult, right? Like, he has to work out how he's going to block with potentially Sheed and potentially Jordan Morgan. And now you got potentially a battle at right guard, right? Like Belton or Sean Ryan. And like, how is, how's Elton going to work with that? Like there's multiple things that have to work themselves out when you have competition across a line, right? Like guys work differently with each other. Each guy doesn't play the position the same. They don't like the same thing. They don't have the same footwork as a different guy. They see things differently. Not every guy is the same. So yes, that does impact things throughout camp. It does change how guys have to play. But I would assume, and this is just me assuming, that they have to have this figured out. They got to have this figured out by the last joint practice. They have to have it figured out by the last joint practice and make their decision by then and roll with it so that this line can just practice with each other from that point on going forward. They have to have it figured out, because if you're continuing to do this all the way into week 1, it really doesn't benefit anyone at that point.
Right.
It just, like, if you name these guys the week of the game. Like, I just don't know what that does. Like, it doesn't help the group at all. So, like, I'm hoping the guys emerge, right, who are going to be the starters. They emerge by, the third week, or the coaches make their decision by then, and they let these guys, kind of set their foundation and build together and get on the same page so that this thing is clicking by week 1.
Brian, I'll talk to you tomorrow on the Homer Hour, and I'll fill you in on everything I saw today. Thanks, buddy.
Sounds good, guys. Appreciate it.
That is Brian Bulaga, always insightful, whether it's history lessons or what the offensive line might look like. Tausch, you and I are headed to the AmFam Championship. I think it's a little more than a week away for us.
9 days in my book. The American Family Insurance returns to Madison. 2 new exciting changes this year. Wisconsin's own Steve Stricker will host the PGA Tour Champions event that runs June 6th through the 8th at its new home course, TPC Wisconsin. AmFam Champ also debuts a new team competition this year. 2-person teams will compete in best ball and scramble formats. The American Family Insurance Championship, June 6th, which we will be out at, through the 8th. Got that great concert we're going to be heading over to on Friday. I think there's some other fun things that are down the pipe as well. Get details and ticket information at amfamchampionship.com.
The 10 o'clock hour starts in 2 minutes. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Baseball is back. Brian Bulaga here to bring you a proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka and Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. A delicious and perfect pairing for a day at the ballpark. Stocked at American Family Field all season long. Surfside is only 100 calories per serving, and the best part, 0 bubbles. Ask for it at your local bar or liquor store. Surfside, an official partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Must be 21 years of age. Please drink responsibly.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Forget average. At Exterior Pros, they bring the heat. They're not here to meet standards. They're here to smash them. From the first swing of the hammer to the final reveal, they're leveling up your home with every window, every shingle, and every single detail. This isn't just a remodel. It's a glow up for your house. Built tough, built beautiful, built to turn heads. Want in? Let's go. Lock in your project now and save $3,000. Exterior Pros, where bold meets built. Trust the pros and visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274.
Why settle for just the job when you could have a career in the exciting automobile industry? The Auto Dealers Association of Metro Milwaukee new car dealer members have service, technician, sales, administrative, and management positions available now. The first word in career is car, and one of the best places to find a great career opportunity is at an Adam new car dealer.
For current great paying job opportunities, visit adam.jobs. That's ADAMM.jobs.
Hey, this is Gabe Neitzel. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now, and it begins with some breaking news. Wink, wink. From 1265 Lombardi Avenue. Matt LaFleur told us it was going to be a truncated off-season program because they're going to be starting early, just like they did last year. Well, turns out it's exactly right. Per Katie Hermson, our contact on the other side of the building, family night is set for Saturday, August 2nd, and the first practice of training camp is set for Wednesday, July 23rd. Oh boy, how do you feel about starting July 23rd for training camp if you're a player? Is that all right with you?
It's fine. It is what it is. Again, after the 4th of July, I'm ready to go when it's from a player standpoint. And actually, from my standpoint, which is what I really care about, I'll be able to come up with you and do the
Dream Drive.
Do the Dream Drive, because we're actually going to be taking a little break after that. So I'm excited. Normally it's a Thursday. We're going to be able to pull this off. So Jesse, put it on the calendar. We'll be up there. Dream Drive up at the Tundra Trio, baby. 23rd of July. Let's go.
I'll have to update our summer tour graphic here and TBA on there. I'll be able to update that one now. Very exciting.
So there it is, the start of training camp, July 23rd. Family night is August 2nd, so make sure you mark your calendars for that. We will get a little more into OTAs as the second practice, but the first one open to reporters is today. Before that, though, I want to remind you, I hope you've never had to make this call. I hope you never do have to make this call. But Gruber Law Offices is there waiting for your call if you have been injured in an accident. One call, that's all. 414-276-6666, 414-276-6666. Go to the website, gruber-law.com, to find out more. Gruber Law Offices, one call, that's all. We'll get ready for the OTA practice with some more conversation about the Packers next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Your chance to spend an afternoon on the links with ESPN Milwaukee is just a tap away. The 2025 Delzer ESPN Milwaukee Open happens July 15th at the Ball Golf Course, and we're inviting a lucky ESPN Milwaukee fan and 3 guests. Hang out with your favorite ESPN Milwaukee hosts, play around at one of Wisconsin's most popular courses, and enjoy food and drinks throughout the day. Open up the contest tab in the ESPN Wisconsin app and register for your chance to win this fan foursome with ESPN Milwaukee.
Mark Tauscher here, and these days I am sleeping better than ever. I am so thankful I met with the great team at Advent to help solve my sleeping problems. The Advent team is so great to work with, and their consultations are very informative. The Advent team listened to my struggles, and rather than forcing a surgery, they helped me find the best solution for a better night's sleep. My family and I are so thankful the solutions from Advent worked. To see how they can help you with snoring, sleep apnea, and nasal breathing problems, go to adventknows.com, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Your Pella experience starts with a free in-home consultation.
It was a really comfortable kitchen table chat. We knew Pella was going to get it right the first time, and they designed a project with us. They didn't just replace our windows and doors.
There are so many options that are available, so it was nice to have someone narrow those down, and they made sure that the design was what we wanted.
Don't wait. Get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 5/31/2025.
Hi, I'm Brittany Miller from Big Frog Custom T-Shirts and more. Custom T-shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, hats, you name it, we can do it. Big Frog Custom T-Shirts and more is family owned and all about celebrating life's big moments. Maybe it's a milestone birthday, a celebration for your child's first goal, or that work fundraising event. We are everyone's printer. No minimum orders, affordable designs, and help straight from me and our team. We're the one-stop shop for all your custom needs. Start your project today at bigfrog.com/Mequon.
Let's talk about home turf. Your lawn is a reflection of your pride, hard work, and even competitive spirit. If you want a yard that makes the neighbors stop and stare, you need the right plan. That's where Weedman Lawn Care comes in. Weedman's lawn care program is kid and pet friendly, uses golf course quality fertilizer, and has an effective weed treatment to dominate any issue. Get a free quote of Weedman's winning formula for your yard at weedman.com and get 50% off your first treatment. That's weedman.com. Weedman for the win.
At Potawatomi, where ways to win are endless, another chance to capture epic cash and prizes comes Friday, June 27th. It's the season finale blockbuster drawings. Watch your entries from Enchanted Spins, Unreal Treasures, and Boundless Bounty come together for drawings where $300,000 in cash and prizes is there for the taking. Be there to win your share. June 27th only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. More info online. Must be 21 years old to play.
It's time for the Milwaukee Baseball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart. Packed with the best beer, liquor, seltzer, and spirits deals in town. Located at 16th and National in Milwaukee. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, where your satisfaction is their plan of action.
The Crew able to split their 4-game weekend set in Pittsburgh over the last few days before returning home to take on the Boston Red Sox. Here's manager Pat Murphy on how things are going.
We're showing signs. I mean, didn't have to win this game the way it was going. 4 hits and 3 in the first, and then looking behind us, and we've seen this a bunch this year, and then bam, bam, bam. You just knew those guys. I mean, the way Collins came through, and they're all behind in the count and still battling.
Good test this weekend coming up after the series against the Red Sox as the Brewers head to Philadelphia to take on the NL East leading Philadelphia Phillies.
This has been the Milwaukee Baseball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart. You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
On Monday, not a sound. On Wednesday, might get loud. On Friday, but on Saturday, we paint the town. Lose my sense of time or two.
Packers' first open OTA practice to the media, not to fans, as we covered earlier. Coming up in a little while here today. Tausch, we didn't get to this yet. I wanted to get to this. The Packers do know who their starting quarterback is, Jordan Love. There have been times in recent years where the quarterback wasn't here for these practices, but we knew it was going to be Aaron Rodgers. The Pittsburgh Steelers are waiting on Aaron Rodgers. And Terry Bradshaw doesn't like it. I think we can safely say that when Aaron Rodgers signs with the Steelers, if and when he signs with the Steelers, Terry will not be giving him his blessing to take number 12 out of retirement and wear it in Pittsburgh.
If you're going to read a quote, you better do it in a Terry Bradshaw voice for us. Otherwise, it's not going to count.
I don't do it, Terry Bradshaw. I could do it in Kermit the Frog. I can do it in Tausch's Gaelic.
Just give us a little southern drawl. It's just Terry Bradshaw.
Pirates. Well, then you read it in your Terry Bradshaw voice, Jesse.
I don't have the quote in front of me.
I was kind of putting you on the spot here.
Okay, Terry Bradshaw. This will be me trying to imitate Terry Bradshaw. You're the guy who does the voices. That's your lane.
Yeah, I'm not prepared.
That's a joke, Bradshaw said on 103.7 The Buzz in Little Rock, Arkansas. That is just, to me, a joke. What are you going to do? Bring him in for 1 year? Are you kidding me? How am I doing so far?
Not bad.
Very well?
Not bad.
That guy needs to stay in California. Go somewhere and chew on some bark and whisper to the gods out there.
Pretty good.
Terry Bradshaw not on board with Aaron Rodgers keeping the Steelers waiting. He goes on to say, I like Kenny Pickett. I'm not going to go.
We're still going. Wow.
Well, there's a whole other quote, and he talks about how Kenny Pickett was not given an opportunity to succeed. You are a huge Terry Bradshaw fan. That's been established on this show, Tausch. What do you make of Terry Bradshaw's commentary here?
Terry is a provocateur. He does a He's been on air for a long time. It's time for Terry to call it. And I think the ironic part would be is if Aaron Rodgers replaced Terry Bradshaw, both as a quarterback in Pittsburgh and then on Fox as one of the guys. I think that would be kind of a fitting way to do it. So I don't have any problem with Terry Bradshaw voicing his opinion on things. I think that's great. It's good for us. It's good for the league. I think it's fun. He has not liked Aaron Rodgers for a long time. That has been abundantly clear. So why would we be surprised that he doesn't like him now? I don't understand. Is like eating tree bark? What is that? Is that a metaphor for something?
Well, you'll have to go see him at his one-man show and ask him when apparently we'll have all kinds of access to him at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Look, you're right. I don't know what the genesis of that was, of him not liking Rodgers. That bark chewing and everything else is obviously an offshoot of his idea of what Rodgers does in the offseason with the ayahuasca and all the other stuff that he might have.
But is that what ayahuasca is? Is tree bark?
No. But it's not really Terry Bradshaw's area of expertise, I'm guessing.
Well, what is his area of expertise?
Football, theoretically.
Okay.
Once upon a time, I think he was very good.
Terry Bradshaw is very good for a long time, but those days are gone. They just are.
Be sure to tune in to Behind the Bucks. I tell you about Behind the Bucks all the time, presented by Gallagher, your trusted HR and benefits consultant. They've got all these great stories. It's a different way to look at Bucks history, and whether it's going through the Giannis documentary and going behind the scenes of that Emmy-winning episode, or what it's like to play in the Olympics, or the Brandon Jennings story, the genesis of Bucks in 6, or the current one, or the most recent one being on Damian Lillard. It is all there for you on the Bucks Plus audio network. You can find Behind the Bucks on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get your podcasts. Behind the Bucks, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. More Wilde and Tausch with Uncle Homer scheduled to appear next, so stick around.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Take your game to the next level with Vortex Golf. This employee-owned brand out of Wisconsin brings you premium rangefinders like the Blade, Blade Slope, and the Anarch, packed with features like image stabilization, pin spotter mode, and rock-solid accuracy. Backed by a legendary no-questions-asked VIP lifetime warranty and unmatched customer service, Vortex has you covered. Ready to upgrade your gear? Visit MapleHillGolf.com and search Vortex to see the full lineup. Vortex Golf, you can bet on it.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Looking for a totally rad flavor adventure, brochachos? Look no further than Surfer Boy Pizza as seen in Stranger Things. Each mouth-watering variety contains rich tomato sauce, delicious mozzarella cheese, and a gnarly range of toppings. The crust is crispy on the outside and airy on the inside. You'll think it was hand-tossed by the Surfer Boy Pizza dudes themselves. Look for it in the freezer aisle at your local store and buckle up your taste buds with Surfer Boy Pizza.
Tournament host Steve Stricker joins a star-studded group of PGA Tour champions at the American Family Insurance Championship. Catch the action June 6th through the 8th with an exciting team competition and a new tournament home at TPC Wisconsin. This year's AmFam Champ concert features Megan Maroney with special guest Clint Black on Friday, June 6th at Bree Stevens Field. All proceeds support the Steve Stricker American Family Insurance Foundation and American Family Children's Hospital. Get your tickets today at amfamchampionship.com.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from
We can be twinsies.
to
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
How did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app? We thought of you. All of you. Take Sierra. As a visual learner, she uses Babbel's wordplay videos.
Today I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Malcolm is a listening learner. So he checks with Babbel's speech recognition to be
Precio.
However you learn, Babbel makes it easy. Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Save big on everything for your next staining project when you shop at Menards. Complete your staining project with Ultra Advanced Semi-Transparent Stain. It's a stain and sealant in one that can be applied to damp wood, allowing you to clean and stain your project in one day. Save big money on Ultra Advanced Semi-Transparent Stain. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for more great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
Wherever you are in Wisconsin, there's a free and confidential Aging and Disability Resource Center, ADRC, or Tribal Partner Agency. We're here for older adults, adults with disabilities, and your families. ADRCs are a bridge to support for benefits and financial assistance, transportation, in-home care, and more. Get to know your local ADRC and connect with resources today. Call toll-free 1-844-WIS-ADRC or go to findmyadrc.org. Paid for by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Whatever you do, make sure you do it right. Whatever you do, make sure you do it right. You're making love or starting the schoolyard fight. Make sure you do it right. Make sure you do it right. Whatever you do, make sure you do it right. Drive a truck, fix a car, dig a ditch, or you play guitar. Build a house, read a book when it's time to party or time to cook. Make sure you do it right. Whatever you do, make sure you do it right.
I'm never going to complain about having the extended version of Duke Tomato and the All-Star Frogs at our disposal, because it usually means that Uncle Homer is joining us. We had a little bit of a technical glitch, so Jesse is working on repairing that. But I am very eager to talk to the crazy old man, because if Jesse can take credit for his misguided, and that I think is being kind, suggestion that Pat Murphy should be on the hot seat, and that's spurring the Brewers on to win 7 of their next 10 games since that ridiculous take was delivered at Pablo's birthday party, then I think Homer has every right to take credit for whatever walks Jackson Churio has worked from opposing pitchers. Am I wrong to think that what's good for the goose is good for the homer?
I think it's good for the gander, too.
Yeah.
No problem with any of that.
I know he took some grief for that, which I didn't think was deserved. No, I thought it was deserved. You did?
A young player who you sign and is going to be one of the faces of your franchise. You've already made that determination. And you want to trade him because he's struggling in 30 games or 40 games? I think that's deserving of criticism.
All right,
yes.
well, let's...
To the degree, now I don't know. But yes, I don't have a problem with the criticism either. And Homer shouldn't either.
Here he comes. Once again, it is Steve the Homer True. Homer, did you deserve criticism for your Jackson Churio opinion? Good morning.
I don't know. Yes, I'm just elated that I have expressed, and people have, either to make fun of me for whatever reason, understood the importance. He cannot, never will be an outstanding player, which we all expect, with the percentage of walks he was getting. Now, he has since improved. It's still very low, but it's not historic, and everybody needs to watch it. And if they watch it to make fun of me, fine, but it is the most important thing regarding him, more important than batting average, more important than home runs, because I'm certain he's okay in those areas. You cannot, never will be a star at the rate he was taking walks, and to his credit, he has improved since. I take no credit for that whatsoever. He gets the credit because it's impressive, given how horrible he was. The only objection anyone could have had, which very few did because they didn't respect the importance of the information, would be, Homer, you should have waited a whole year. I waited 250 plate appearances because I was appalled that no one had brought it up. So that means that I did it a little early. I don't think so, but that is going to bring some criticism. But again, the only legitimate criticism no one used because they chose instead to not even take the time to see the accuracy and importance of that particular stat based on greatness of baseball players in the major leagues. And that's sad, but so be it. That's my job. I think they're now doing it.
Speaking of jobs, did you pick up a second gig as like a telemarketer or taking calls from disgruntled customers? Because I hear a lot of phones ringing in the background. Are you like Judy from Time Life Books?
No, this is a problem. Now that I drive a Lincoln, I don't know exactly what's going on. So hold on here just a second.
We've now been put on hold by Steve the Homer True as he drives his Lincoln.
Good. I'm not exactly sure what that was and what caused it because this car is more complicated than my Scion. So I apologize for that noise.
But you got a good deal on it.
I did get a good deal.
And you go to Quick Trip for the gas.
I go to Quick Trip, yes, and I do want to emphasize it's a great point. And when I go to Quick Trip, which of course I go, I get to use regular unleaded. I was afraid that I had to go premium, and I checked with the previous owner. He said no, and that's huge because if it was premium, I would be selling it to someone else.
I thought the previous owner was some little old lady that only drove it to like the grocery store once a week. That's why it's so low on miles.
Right, 77,000 miles, but I don't know how rich they were. Yeah.
How often are you calling her for like things that you need to worry about with the car? The air pressure's a little low. What do you usually keep your tires at?
You are a good reporter. No, I asked the person who bought it from her, who was going to give it to his kids, and they said they didn't want it. So I'm not calling her. The person who I bought it from told me that he got it from a friend who. I mean, a 2012 with 77,000 miles, that's unbelievable.
That's a smoking hot deal, no doubt.
Yeah.
And what is the model?
So, we'll
just out of curiosity, what is the model?
Lincoln MX SZ, I don't even know. But it's not one of those.
Very much on brand. Okay,
Homer, what would you want Wilde as he's going to be up there at OTAs? What's the one dying question you have that you want Jason Wilde to find out information for you today about?
I mean, it's all about Jaire, but it's a question of the problem is asking a question they'll actually answer. That's what you spend time thinking about.
That's his specialty.
At least what I did.
He greases him up a little bit, and then he finds the way to get that answer out of him.
Well, I don't, but, I mean, it's like, what's the percentage chance? What's the percentage? What's the compliment? He's very good.
I know he is. He's looking at me like I'm shot his dog.
Is that, and you neglect to add this part to it, in addition to being very nice, he then will ask the tough question, and they answer it.
Yeah, because he's got them all greased up. It's like those fittings on that Lincoln, that 2012 Lincoln. They're all greased up. Oil's good.
I'll ask. No, hold on. Nice try. I'll ask Jason. he could grease you up. This is a great line. As much as you want, and you still ain't answering the question he wants.
That's true of you. Yeah, that's true. The grease does not work with old boy.
How about with grease? Did it work with grease?
It did.
Did it with grease?
It did actually. It did.
Homer, what's the question you want to ask? I mean, come on.
I know what percentage chance that Jaire. I wonder what percentage chance that Jaire is going to play on the Packers this year? Because to me, it's huge. I'm more willing to forgive him because I don't care if he plays half the games. They're still better than if he doesn't show up. And to be better than I think they're going to be, which is good but not good enough, I'm willing to gamble on Jaire, assuming that he wants to play in Green Bay, and I'll defer to Jason on that. I thought there was no way he wanted to, and clearly, I guess at the right price he would, or I don't know what's the best way to put that. Yeah, I want to know the percentage chance that Jaire's going to play for the Packers this year. Forget all the other stuff. But they won't answer that.
Yeah, they definitely won't answer that, and they'll say we're working through that.
Day to day.
I will say this. We are going to talk to Jordan Love. I believe we're scheduled to speak with him. I am very curious about his mentality heading into this season because I have said, I have said repeatedly that I think this is a very pivotal season for him to elevate his game to the level of being as good as he's capable of being. We have seen how good he is. If we use the Homer rule of judging players, young players, based on what they do when they play well, not when they play poorly, we have seen glimpses that he can be a great NFL quarterback. I don't know how great he can be consistently, and I'm curious how he can get to that level consistently. What does he need to do?
We don't know.
To play at that level?
We don't know how much was the lack of LaFleur having a bad year last year because he didn't know how to fit the pass and the run with a running back like that, and also how much Jordan Love was hurt and how that affected his play. I give him 2 years. I don't. This year is not as important to me as you say, but I give him 2 years. But your premise, I mean, how hurt was he? How much did the injury affect what he was capable of doing? And why was no one open?
Yeah, it wasn't all him.
Wicks, according to every analytics, was wide open all day.
Yeah, he just didn't catch many of the balls that were thrown to him.
No, he dropped too many. Nobody was wide open all day. The only guy that was wide open all day was Jaire.
That's not what the analytics said.
I don't care what the analytics said. I don't agree with the analytics. There's more than there's more than one analytic. Hold on. Let me tell you what my analytics said. Jaden Reed was wide open early in the year, and we loved him. And then all of a sudden, he was never open. And he probably dropped too many passes too. You watched the game. Did you say? Forget analytics. Tell me your eyes, Tausch. Did you see the second half of that season wide receivers open, any of them, all the time? Yes or no?
I did not. I think it's twofold. It is part of it is the play action pass game just was not as good. And I do wonder from Jordan's perspective and really from the Packers' perspective, how would you think they graded Jordan Love last year? Jason?
Great question.
You think they gave him a B? What do you think they saw? Because you factor that stuff in.
I tell you what LaFleur gave him. LaFleur gave him a C-.
What?
Because LaFleur ain't blaming himself.
You think so?
Yeah, LaFleur gave Jordan Love a C-. That's what I believe.
Jason, I don't think he did. I bet he gave him a B.
Privately, not publicly. Privately.
Yeah, what privately?
Yeah.
Privately, the first half of the season, he had too many bad decisions. I think he obviously had the injury to deal with, which factored in. I bet he got a B- C+ from the head coach, but they don't grade on letter grades, right?
No, but we do.
Not publicly. Privately, they do all the time. You know that, right?
I don't know if I know that. I don't know if they actually give out letter grades
all the time. It's just, maybe they grade them numbers. They grade everything. Right?
They do.
Everything.
They do grade everything.
Yeah, very true.
But I don't think they say, you got a C+ this year as you go into your junior season as a starter. No, I think this is a pivotal year for him, and I think he knows that. Who is he going to become? Who is the quarterback he is going to be? I think this year goes a long way to decide that. Does anyone here disagree with that?
I'll say this: it doesn't matter. He could have a year similar or worse, and he's still going to be the starting quarterback the following year.
Yeah.
Sure, I would agree.
Jason, what do you want to see more than anything else from him?
Hey, consistency.
Given all year.
He wants to see more consistency.
I want him to be more consistently accurate, for one. There were certainly a number of drops that were part of the equation. No one's suggesting it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
There was certainly the issue with his 2 different left leg injuries.
He needs to run more. He needs to run more.
Mm-hmm.
Use his running ability more, both in passing and
yes,
running, right?
Agreed. Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
So those are all.
I think it's unfair. And that's where I think it was unfair to criticize him last year because we all thought maybe he shredded his knee out in Sao Paulo, and then when he comes back, what did he do? He's groin or whatever it was in Jacksonville.
Groin. Yep.
It just never was there, and that was a big component to him. I think one of the things that people didn't give him enough credit for last year was getting rid of the football on time and limiting the amount of sacks that his group gave up because, as we've seen by Goody's actions, not his words, he didn't think they protected him very well last year. And that's why he's making the moves and putting this competition. That is something I think Jordan Love has not gotten enough credit for, is read, understand where his outlets are, and not taking a ton of sacks. And even he didn't turn the football over a ton off of that. It was more just bad decisions. It wasn't because he was getting stracked and anything else. His ability to notice the rush, keep his eyes down the field, and know where to go with the football is something we haven't given him enough love to Jordan Love.
Mm-hmm.
As far as grades, I want to mention that I said what LaFleur would do it. I give LaFleur a lower grade than Jordan Love. So I think last year.
No, come on, dude.
So when
Matt LaFleur, hold up 1 second, Homer. Homer, let me speak, and then I'm going to give you the floor. So you just said LaFleur did it. Would you say? Are you telling me he did his worst job coaching last year? Is that what you're trying to say?
I can't compare the years, but
you've covered the team the whole time. What do you mean you can't compare?
I can't remember that far back. Come on.
All right, that's fair.
Wilde, that's 5
but
years
you
ago,
just
4
said
years ago,
he was worse than Jordan Love, and that was a C.
Yes.
You gave him a C or C minus. Matt LaFleur last year. Let's slow down. This is what drives me nuts.
What
about
what
certain media, certain media narratives that get
what?
Jordan Love, his starting quarterback. His starting quarterback gets hurt. They bring a guy in that was cast away by the Tennessee Titans. And he wins and looks great doing it with Malik Willis. Then he changes and adapts his run game to fit the guy that is able to do what he does with what now looks as if the O-line was not as good as we all thought, with a receiving core that had no clear-cut number one. And their offense still does what it does, and you say Matt LaFleur had a disappointing season?
I said he had a word.
Make it make sense.
You should be as well. What do you mean it didn't make sense? You have this great running back.
No, I said make it make sense.
He did a great job when he had a quarterback and just said run the damn ball. But we thought when Jordan Love came back that the offense should be not only good but better. This guy is a play savant. And now he's got the best balance he's ever had. He's got the best. And the receivers are never open. And the passing game is nothing as far as what you'd expect. That's on LaFleur, given the standard. Now, I don't know what you have against the media. If I said LaFleur's a terrible coach, maybe I said last year, I don't think he did well when Jordan Love came back. I will never understand.
You said he stunk last year. You just said he was worse than Love. You said Love was a C minus and he was worse than Love. Those are your words. I didn't put those words in your mouth, did I?
With this guy, I said that LaFleur would have given Jordan Love that grade. I didn't say it was my grade. Jason, is that exactly what I said? Play the tape.
It's a burden. There's no doubt about it. But I'm no picnic, as I've been told
just
before.
Like most coaches, they're never going to blame themselves.
So, Homer, your argument on LaFleur, if you want to, and this is where I was upset, is sloppy play, not being consistent, and with what that offense did the last 2 or 3 weeks, if you want to spin the narrative you just spun, that's where you go. Because the end of the season stunk. And that's why you saw 3 picks in the first 87 all go on offense. That's why you saw them go pick up a big left guard. Because they know this offense ain't good enough to get it done against the big boys. We saw that repeatedly last year, and that's your argument for LaFleur not having a good year.
Okay. Well, I've always said he's into smart.
I'm like debating myself here.
Yeah, kind of.
Debating myself.
It's great.
Sounds like your dream scenario.
You must be tired. Tausch, you must be tired at the end of the show because you not only have to talk, but you have to tell everybody else what they should be saying. Man, that is, whoa.
No, I want you to hold, Homer, I want you to be held accountable, and I want you to back up what you're saying. That's all. Yeah. And when you do that, I want to put points at you.
That's what I don't like about the media.
What?
All right. He in fairness, Tausch actually does 3 things during the show. Oh. He gives you his opinion, 1. He tells you what your opinion should be, 2. And then he tells you what you said, but you didn't really say. That's 3.
It's the greatest analysis.
Go back on the tape. What did Homer say about LaFleur? Did he say he had a worse season than Jordan Love did? Did he not say that?
Homer, I will talk to you. I will talk to you tonight at 5 o'clock on the Homer Hour. That is Steve the Homer True.
That was fun. Homer, that was one of your better ones today.
He's gone.
He's already gone.
He's in his Lincoln, just cruising down.
And the beauty of his Lincoln
down at Tosa
is on his way to Ted's. He can plug in his iPhone and listen to the ESPN Wisconsin app. It is all new. It's your state, your teams, your ESPN, the brand new ESPN Wisconsin app. A customizable homepage, easier and quicker live listening. Your shows are all at the touch of a fingertip. The ESPN Wisconsin app, available both in the Apple and Android app stores. Your state, your teams, your ESPN. Download the ESPN Wisconsin app today. More Wilde and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance. You remember the moments from that magical March.
Side Decker, it's a 3. Got it!
On June 26th, celebrate the squad with Made 'em Believe, a special night with Bo Ryan, Frank Kaminsky, and Sam Decker.
Here's Kaminsky, the drop stab, that's his favorite. And the 2.
Presented by Bud Light, Michelob Ultra, Potosi Varsity Ale, and Potosi Hard Seltzer. Tickets are on sale now at uwhoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe, June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison.
Turn your driveway into the basketball court of your dreams with Precision Sports, Southeastern Wisconsin's dealer for Mega Slam, Ironclad, and Dominator hoop systems. From installation to customizable painted court lines, Precision Sports is a slam dunk. PrecisionSportsOnline.com.
Monica, we've got to hand it to you.
You and the design team have outdone yourselves.
Are you talking about the One collection?
Those rings say you are the one.
And they say it symbolically.
Describe the symbols.
Every ring in the One collection should be presented with a special ritual.
What would that ritual be?
You pick up her left hand and you place a kiss on her ring finger.
Rick, you never told me about that part.
Then you show her the tiny red diamond, flush mounted inside the ring, that will forever be in contact with her finger.
Why is it red?
Because that's when the giver says to the one, wherever you go, my heart goes with you.
I give you this kiss. I give you my heart.
The red diamond is a secret symbol of that sacred moment.
The center diamond on the outside of the ring is for the whole world to see.
But the tiny red created diamond inside the ring is only for the two of them.
The One collection of engagement rings is available exclusively at Kessler's.
To find the Kessler's nearest you,
visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Hey, it's ESPN Milwaukee's Brad Nortman. A big focus in America today is your health. And you can't be fully healthy if you are not physically mobile to do the things you want to do. If you're someone that keeps on experiencing that joint pain, then you need to visit QC Kinetics. When I go to QC Kinetics' Greenfield location, I am amazed at everything that they have to give you your life back and finally fix that pain that you're experiencing. Everything they do is top of the line. From the free consultation where you can get an ultrasound of your joints and see what is nagging you in real time, to the effective and long-lasting treatments of PRP and stem cells that they offer to give you long-lasting pain relief. Be one of the tens of thousands of other patients who now have a pain-free life because of the treatments they received at QC Kinetics. Call QC Kinetics today for your free consultation. 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474.
Two Wisconsin icons are teaming up on a reworked classic. Cousin Subs and U-Zingers are proud to introduce the all-new Fried Bologna Sub, featuring U-Zingers fried bologna, bacon, American cheese, onions, pickles, mayo, and mustard on fresh-baked Italian bread. And that's not all. Pair your fried bologna with a creamy cupcake shake topped with whipped cream and rainbow sprinkles. Now that's a better combination. Order both in-store, online, or via the mobile app. Cousin Subs. We believe in better.
At Citizens Bank, community banking is you, growing your business with a partner who gets it. It's you, buying your first home with a lender who makes it easy. It's you, building a future with savings that work just as hard as you. And it's us, working together to strengthen our community. Because at Citizens Bank, community banking means you plus us. Visit us at citizensbankwi.bank. Citizens Bank is member FDIC and an equal housing lender.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
As always, to Uncle Homer. That was fun, especially when you two get after each other. That's always entertaining.
Wow.
It's also
you can't say that Matt LaFleur had a brutal season, which is in essence what he said. And I tried to pin him down, and then he used his old age as a crutch, which I get. I use my memory. I understand that. But anyone that was listening to that, he just said Jordan Love had a tough year. He gave him a C- or a C. And he said LaFleur was worse than Love. That makes me think he had a really bad year. Is that me putting words in his mouth?
No, you're using you're using logic.
And by the way, Matt LaFleur at the end of the season, his offense in that Philadelphia playoff game and in the Bear game, which was choppy, stunk.
Yeah,
it was
sloppy.
Garbanzo.
His own words.
It was garbanzo. You watched that Philly game, you would have thought he did not. I did. You watched that Philly. You would have thought the '85 Bears were playing against the Packers. In that we couldn't block anybody. Richard Dent and the Fridge and McMichael, all these guys that's what it looked like. They're throwing our guys around, and Jordan Love, they know where to go. And you turn it over 4 times, and you're still down 16-10 in the fourth. It was ugly. And you said it, and at the end of that season, when LaFleur, after 17 weeks of football, got up there and said, we're playing sloppy, I don't know, that was telling to me. And that is part of the reason that I picked the Philadelphia Eagles to beat the Green Bay Packers, even though you all try to keep telling me, oh, you never picked the Packers. Check the tape, my friends. Picked Philadelphia.
Checking the tape.
And the winner of that game
Yeah.
And the winner of that game to go win the Super Bowl. And what happened?
If they would have played in Milwaukee, the winner of the game would have gone to the Super Bowl.
No, I didn't. There were none of those qualifiers. Come on.
Life comes at you fast, and that's why Quick Trip is there, because they know that life is busy.
And Quick Trip gets it, whether you're craving that fresh coffee that I love, a tasty bakery treat, grab-and-go meals. Quick Trip is your go-to. Quick Trip has a variety of apps and meals. Right now they got those great boneless wings, hand-breaded, fried to perfection, and they're ready to go. Grab Quick Trip's crispy chicken sandwich, perfect for a quick bite, plus an 8-piece fried chicken meal that feeds your whole crew. And it's Wednesday today, so that's $9.99 for those tenders or bone-in chicken. You know that's not the only deal going on. Kitchen Cravings 5-ounce sirloin beef steaks, 2 for $4. Nature's Touch American cheese singles, 12-ounce packages for $1.99. Nature's Touch milk, just $1.99 a gallon. Fuel your day with quality taste. Quick Trip is your one-stop for variety, quality, and fast service. You get gas, the free air, nice, clean restrooms. Quick Trip has you covered on all of it. Download the Quick Rewards app and take advantage of everything that Quick Trip has to offer. Plus, you can order ahead for pickup or go ahead and do curbside delivery. Quick Trip, we'll see you next time.
The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch kicks off in 2 minutes, so stick around.
Anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Hey, want to make your next meal a little less ordinary? Well, head to Quick Trip. Hey, we are so back serving up our legendary No Ordinary Chicken. Yeah, your dinner is hand-breaded, fried to perfection, ready to eat for tonight's dinner. Or you can buy it cold, sealed fresh for tomorrow's lunch. You know, we love to make life easier for you. This isn't just any chicken. It's Quick Trip's No Ordinary Chicken. Stop in your local Quick Trip today and taste the difference.
Stay up to date on the Green and Gold all off season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
This is Kevin Moret from Mentality. Every day is a silent competition, and with testosterone dropping 1% annually, you're fighting an uphill battle. Your colleagues notice when you lose your edge, your partner senses when your confidence wavers, and without addressing low T, you're set up to fail. No willpower can overcome this hormonal deficit. Mentality's FDA-approved treatments have shown a 30% increase in testosterone levels. Don't let low T define you. Reclaim your power at mentalityhealth.com/radio. That's mentalityhealth.com/radio.
Hey, Wisconsin, it's Mark Tauscher, and if you know me, you know I love our home teams like the Brewers and UW Credit Union. And now, when you open a rewards checking account at any UW Credit Union branch by June 6th, you get 2 Brewers tickets for an upcoming game. Plus, enjoy all the best rewards like early payday and cash back on credit card purchases. Visit any UW Credit Union branch or uwcu.org for details. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions do apply.
If only life had a remote control, you could pause or rewind. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Hey, this is Jen Latta. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
I'm not giving up, no, not yet. Even when I'm down to my last breath. Even when they say there's nothing left. So don't give up on. I'm not giving up, no, not me. Even when nobody else believes. I'm not going down that easily.
Here's a twist. The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch. It's Jesse and Tausch for the time being. Jason had to step away. He'll be rejoining us at the bottom of the hour. Unfortunately, in Madison, you won't catch him at the bottom of the hour because we'll be joining Brewers baseball. But in Milwaukee and Beaver Dam, the show will continue and Jason will return. While Jason's away, Tausch, we are going to play Wisconsin Geography Wednesday trivia coming up in our next segment, presented by Vortex Golf. So we got to make sure we let everybody know. Are you going to ask questions this time around? Like
No, on Wednesdays I take off. I
Okay,
don't do,
so
I like to play because I love Wisconsin trivia. I love the geography part of it. I'm really starting to now. I was going through Portage and taking some of these back roads. The cell reception's not great, but it's always fun. You get down different highways. I enjoy that. So, no, I'm going to play along.
All right, good to know. Well, I want you to play along with something here that a lot of our other ESPN Wisconsin shows touched on yesterday. Did you know, Tausch, that yesterday marked 100 days until the start of the 2025 NFL season?
I did know that. Yes, I saw that on Twitter.
A lot of articles. I think everybody had the same idea. 100 things to know about the upcoming season, 100 predictions, 100 whatever it is. So Ben Solak is an NFL writer over at ESPN.com, and he did 100 days to the 2025 NFL season, things to know and predictions, getting us set for the coming season. So there's a couple of good nuggets about the Green Bay Packers, and then there's one not so good nugget about the Green Bay Packers. I'll give you the good first. Under the category 10 names to know for the 2025 season from Ben Solak at ESPN.com, 2 Green Bay Packers names are listed in this category. Any guesses? Or should I just tell you?
Edgerrin Cooper will be one of them, for sure.
He is one of them. Nicely done. The light bulb went on for Cooper last year as he rose from sub-package player to 100% snap starter by season's end. Solak writes, he said some other nice things about Edgerrin Cooper and says expect him to have a big year for the Packers defense this year.
Yeah, I would look at him. I think he has a chance. And, again, he's going into his second year. The light bulb going on and all, however you want to phrase it. But there is such a monumental difference in mindset from year 1 to year 2 because you now have a taste of what it takes to do the job. You can train that way. You're not going through the Shrine Bowl and the Combine and where you're going to live and getting an apartment. And it's just all ball. And Edgerrin Cooper, people forget, should have been a first-round pick. There are a lot of teams that have kind of went what Green Bay used to do, was to kind of devalue that off-the-ball linebacker spot. Green Bay saw that, and I am convinced that I don't think people realize how much postseason football will dictate how a team approaches their roster. And I am convinced that Goody had a complete change of heart than what Ted and maybe even Mike Sherman and some of the other guys had as GMs with just find guys that collect tackles. I think when you saw what San Fran had with Bowman and Willis and then Varner and Greenlaw and then what Tampa had at their middle linebacker play and how that affected and really took Green Bay Packers playoff teams that should have went and done more, how that impacted it. I think Green Bay looked at this position as we need to get better and more impactful players. That's why they drafted Quay Walker. And that's why they drafted Edgerrin Cooper. And I think Edgerrin Cooper, Quay, everybody is raving about. He got better. He's matured, obviously, from where he was. Edgerrin Cooper has a chance to be that guy that Goody has envisioned when he saw these other players. You hope to see him showing those signs early and often and being impactful, not just a tackle collector.
So you're speaking pretty glowingly about Edgerrin Cooper for this coming season.
Well, how do you not Jesse, I watched the end of the season. He played at a really high level. He started to get it. And some of the mistakes he made and where he was limited with why Jeff Hafley would play him is because he wasn't lining up. He maybe wasn't doing all the little things. And eventually your talent is so good, you're like, we have to live with some of those mistakes and let him grow. They did that, and they started seeing the benefits of that at the end of the season. And I think a big reason why Green Bay's defense gave Philadelphia the most problems of anybody, obviously there's other reasons, but I think Edgerrin Cooper is a huge part of why that defense got that much better as the season kind of finished up.
The other name to know, according to Ben Solak at ESPN.com for the coming season, is Elgton Jenkins, who we certainly know on this team. What do you think of Elgton Jenkins making the switch to center? Ben Solak says that's going to make him a more prominently known offensive lineman around the rest of the country.
I mean, I understand where Ben's coming from because there's less centers, but I think people that know ball really knew where Elgton Jenkins was. He has been one of the most versatile and best. That injury slowed his career arc down because he had to miss so much time and then maybe didn't get some of the All-Pro or Pro Bowl nods that I thought he probably should have. But Elgton Jenkins has been a really good player for a long time. I don't fully understand. He's going into year 8 or whatever year he's going into.
He's been around a while to be in this category, I thought.
That's why I don't agree with it, and that's why I'm not really that excited about it. I think the Elgton Jenkins drama is going to be, when are you going to get his deal done? How is that going to shake out? And hopefully it'll be done and figured out by the time we get to whatever date. What is it, the 23rd of July, when training camp opens up in Green Bay?
So that was the good that both of those guys got, nice shout-outs from Ben Solak in the article saying, these are names you'll want to know this coming season. Meanwhile, there's another category within the article, 10 bold predictions that you shouldn't aggregate unless they end up being correct. I like that.
Why do you like that? Why do you like that? That basically means I have to fill space.
Yeah, he's having fun.
No, bold predictions are fine and fun.
We take them very seriously around here. We all know Boulder-thon every September.
Hear what he had to say.
Ben Solak writes about the Green Bay Packers, the Packers will miss the playoffs. I will read the rest of this for you for context. I think, this is according to Ben Solak, ESPN.com, I think two of the biggest non-negotiables for playoff teams are having a pass rush and a dominant receiver. The Packers definitely don't have the first and still might not have the second, even after drafting Matthew Golden in round 1. They were plus 12 in turnover differential last season, which ranked 3rd in the NFL, but that tends not to be a sticky number. I'm also looking at the plus 24 Bills with supreme suspicion. That's what Ben Solak writes. So he thinks the Packers got a little lucky last year being plus 12 turnover differential, and that with not having a true number 1 wide receiver and not having a dominant pass rush, they are not primed to have a successful 2025 season.
Yeah, what that tells me is Ben Solak doesn't believe in Jordan Love. That's what that tells me. I don't know why I don't think he's a local guy, right? He's a national guy.
He's a national writer, yes.
So I don't fully understand why. Just come out and say it, Ben. If you don't think Green Bay is going to be a playoff team, it's because you don't believe in Jordan Love. Period, fin. All of the other stuff, he was hurt, didn't have a great year, but had still a pretty good year last year. Yes, the turnover margin, that is something that I think it's really hard to replicate year in and year out. That's why the Bears, with all of their struggles at quarterback, they always forced, and when they had their big years, they just got good and he got rolling with creating turnovers. That is more, I can understand Ben's point on that. But let's not kid ourselves here. You can make all these excuses. If you believe in the team's quarterback, you will, in a league now where 7 teams make a playoff, you're not going to say, well, if you believe in that quarterback, you're going to say they're going to at least make the playoffs. And you can make excuses, they're pass rush and all this other stuff. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and I'm not putting Jordan Love in that category. And by the way, you can have that take, but then stand on it and say that more so than anything else. And I think that's where you don't have a number 1 wideout. Did Josh Allen have a number 1 wideout last year? No, they didn't. You can make an argument, did Patrick Mahomes have a number 1 wideout last year? No, not really. He didn't. So Green Bay's wide receiving core obviously has to get better, but if you believe in Jordan Love, you're going to believe that the Green Bay Packers, at worst, are going to make the playoffs. At best, you're going to have a shot at doing some things when it comes to postseason football.
Ben Solak might have some people dreaming fearfully. Of course, that's not what we like to say when it comes to American Family Insurance, Tausch.
Need American Family Insurance, proud partner of Wilde and Tausch from the jump, and for almost 100 years, they've been committed to making life better with the right home and auto protection. Also, that you're free to enjoy your dreams. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly with American Family Insurance. Get a quote or find an agent at amfam.com.
The time has come for Wilde and Tausch Trivia on a Wisconsin Geography Wednesday. Wilde and Tausch Trivia is presented by Vortex Golf, rangefinders you can bet on. Caller 15 for Wilde and Tausch Trivia right now at 844-770-3776. Today's questions, Tausch, are courtesy of Up North Joe, who we spent quite a bit of time with over the weekend. And there's a theme to today's questions. I'm going to leave that a secret until we get trivia underway. But Wisconsin Geography Wednesday, and then a theme within that category from Up North Joe's trivia questions that he's provided for us today. Caller 15, 844-770-3776. Caller 15 for Wilde and Tausch Trivia, presented by Vortex Golf. We will play next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio. Another disappointing end to the season for the Bucks.
Three-quarter court heave, and that is how this season will end for the Bucks.
And now we head into another offseason full of rumors.
Do you think that you can still win that second championship here in Milwaukee?
I'm not going to do this. I wish I was still playing. I wish I was still competing and going back to Milwaukee.
What's going to happen with Giannis and the Bucks? All the latest Bucks news right here. 94.5 ESPN, ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube, and the new ESPN Wisconsin app.
Hey, Wisconsin, it's Mark Tauscher, and if you know me, you know I love our home teams, like the Brewers and UW Credit Union. And now, when you open a rewards checking account at any UW Credit Union branch by June 6th, you get 2 Brewers tickets for an upcoming game. Plus, enjoy all the best rewards, like early payday and cash back on credit card purchases. Visit any UW Credit Union branch or uwcu.org for details. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions do apply.
Join NBA stars Dwayne Wade and Travis Diener on the links at Hidden Glen Golf Course or at the Champions for Literacy celebration on June 27th at the Garage at the Harley-Davidson Museum. Help bring awareness to youth literacy and support Milwaukee's youth. Get full event details at wadeversusdiener.givesmart.com. And if you can't make the party, learn more about the Elite Youth Basketball Camp happening on June 28th at wadeversusdiener.givesmart.com. That's wadevsdiener.givesmart.com.
Awarded Best of Weddings 2023 by The Knot, The Bog is much more than world-class golf. Our clubhouse ballroom offers floor-to-ceiling windows and a breathtaking full-wall fireplace. Our barn venue was inspired by the on-site barn at Hole 6, built in the 1800s. 2 outdoor ceremony sites and a variety of personalized options. Our venues are perfect for family get-togethers, weddings, showers, graduation parties, or any event you are hosting. Call The Bog at 262-292-0740 or visit thebarnatthebog.com.
Home practice is about to begin. Your daughter's new tap shoes? Loud. Your son's new tuba? Louder. But you got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with $50 overdraft Greystone. So if you lose track of expenses buying some noise-canceling and sanity-saving headphones, we've got your back. You got this with $50 overdraft Greystone from Associated Bank. See AssociatedBank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Call Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Hey, get in. What? Who are you? I'm future you. Constipation with belly pain still coming back? Yeah. Mia, our doctor figured it out. She said it's irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, and Linzess could help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Tausch back with you. Obviously, no Jason Wilde for the time being. He will return next segment. For those of you who are still with us, a couple of housekeeping notes before we play Wilde and Tausch trivia. So the video stream is going to conclude after this segment on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Video stream is going to conclude because of how we're set up here for the final two segments of the show with our Madison station, 100.5 ESPN, carrying the Milwaukee Brewers game. So just wanted to make sure everybody knows that. The show will continue on the ESPN Wisconsin app and also on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee and 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam coming up next. It is time for Wilde and Tausch Trivia presented by Vortex Golf. Wilde and Tausch Trivia presented by Vortex Golf Rangefinders. You can bet on, and today's contestant is Mason in Madison. Mason, welcome to Wilde and Tausch. Sorry you don't get the full effect with Jason stepping away for these segments. How are you?
Good. How are you guys doing?
We are well. How well do you know your Wisconsin geography?
I feel like I know it pretty well. Lived in the state my whole life, so we'll see. We'll give her a go.
All right. Well,
let's go.
From my buddy up north Joe, who we saw over the weekend as we hung out over Memorial Day weekend, here is today's Wilde and Tausch Trivia presented by Vortex Golf. Question number 1. A 650-mile-long escarpment is visible in many locations in Wisconsin, such as the massive limestone cliffs in Door County. The escarpment is named for which iconic waterfall located in upstate New York? Is it Niagara Falls, Havasu Falls, or You Lost Me at Escarpment?
That's good. That was good.
That's good. I'm going to go Niagara.
Niagara Falls is the guess. Tausch?
I would agree.
You are correct.
Circle gets the square.
Niagara Falls is correct. Question number 2, Mason. Latitudinally. Which of these Wisconsin waterfalls is located farthest north? The theme is waterfalls, if you couldn't figure it out. Well, latitudinally, which of these Wisconsin waterfalls is located farthest north? Copper Falls in Mellon, Dave's Falls in Amberg, or Willow Falls in Hudson?
Hudson, I know that's up there, so that's my guess, Hudson.
Mason guesses Hudson. Tausch?
I'm going to say Copper Falls on this one.
One of you is right. And unfortunately for Mason, it's not him.
Ooh.
Copper Falls in Mellon, all the way up almost near Superior. Very far north in the state. Amberg's up near
Twin
the
Cities,
Crivets area, and Hudson.
Duluth.
Yeah, Hudson's actually
good whitewater rafting up there at Crivets. Told you that many times. Good whitewater rafting.
Said that. I have seen it. Question 3, chance to bounce back. Mason and Madison, Wilde and Tausch trivia. According to Travel Wisconsin, which county is known as Wisconsin's waterfall capital?
Ooh. I should know this. My wife works for them.
Oh, boy. Is it Marinette, Marinette County, Rusk County, or Vilas County? Marinette, Rusk, or Vilas?
Man, I'm going to... Ross. No, wait. Marinette. Wait. No, Ross.
What are you going with?
We're going Ross.
I was going to say, I definitely didn't think it was Vilas. I thought it was
I didn't either. There's too many lakes up there.
Yep, it is Marinette. Yep. Marinette County.
Marinette?
Yeah.
Marinette is the waterfall capital of Wisconsin?
That's what they say.
Saying?
According to Travel Wisconsin, that is the case.
How many waterfalls are up in Marinette?
A lot. I could look into that for you. There's a lot of them. We did a waterfall tour up in that area because that's where we go up north to hang out. So, Mason, unfortunately, we're up against it here, but you do have 2 of the possible 4 entries for the Vortex swag bag and rangefinder in our drawing on Friday. Thanks for playing, and good luck to you.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. You have a good one.
Mason and Madison, today's trivia contestant. Tausch, tell us about UW Credit Union.
For every stage of life, waterfall stage, lake stage, UW Credit Union is here forever you. Proudly serving Wisconsin for over 90 years. They're going to help you reach your financial goals. And people ask me, why did you join UW Credit Union? Just to keep your banking local? Yep. Is it the member first service? Absolutely. Or is it great perks like early payday? All of that. But honestly, I just love Bucky. Who can say no to that pretty little face? And if you love Wisconsin, like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. FanDuel will make you do crazy things, but man, this makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member today and get your Bucky card like I did. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions do apply.
The show ends in Madison. Brewers baseball trying to sweep the Red Sox. Coming up next in Madison, Milwaukee and Beaver Dam. Jason Reed joins us. And Whoa Nelly, where I think we're going to fix college football, is coming up next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Your Pella experience starts with a free in-home consultation.
It was a really comfortable kitchen table chat. We knew Pella was going to get it right the first time, and they designed a project with us. They didn't just replace our windows and doors.
There are so many options that are available, so it was nice to have someone narrow those down, and they made sure that the design was what we wanted.
Don't wait. Get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 5/31/2025.
Tournament host Steve Stricker joins a star-studded group of PGA Tour champions at the American Family Insurance Championship. Catch the action June 6th through the 8th with an exciting team competition and a new tournament home at TPC Wisconsin. This year's AmFam Champ concert features Megan Maroney with special guest Clint Black on Friday, June 6th at Bree Stevens Field. All proceeds support the Steve Stricker American Family Insurance Foundation and American Family Children's Hospital. Get your tickets today at amfamchampionship.com.
Hey, it's Jason Wilde, and Father's Day is Sunday, June 15th. Get Dad something he can really enjoy. Kringle from Racine Danish Kringles. Order at Kringle.com and send Dad his favorite flavor, like their bourbon pecan. That's my favorite. To complete the gift, you can add a bag of gourmet coffee to your order, and you will be Dad's favorite child. Go to Kringle.com or call 800-4DANISH and have it shipped right to Dad. Kringle.com or 800-4DANISH. Racine Danish Kringles, it's not just a treat, it's a tradition.
Drive into Memorial Day all month long at Cunis. Get the best savings of the year at your nearby Milwaukee Metro Cunis locations in Oak Creek and Greenfield. Get huge discounts on the Buick Envista and Envision SUVs or the rugged GMC Terrain and Sierra. Visit your local dealer website for one of our 10 pre-owned super specials. You won't find deals like this anywhere else. Plus, we have unbeatable service specials on brakes, tires, and oil changes.
I'm Brian Bohm, General Manager of Cunis of Oak Creek.
And I'm Bill Eater, General Manager of Cunis of Greenfield.
We would like to invite you to take advantage of these great monthly specials.
And remember that your vehicle will be covered by our exclusive No Fear lifetime powertrain warranty, included with new and qualified pre-owned purchases.
Call or stop in today for your VIP appointment.
Drive into Memorial Day all month long at Cunis.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a 12.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Take your game to the next level with Vortex Golf. This employee-owned brand out of Wisconsin brings you premium rangefinders like the Blade, Blade Slope, and the Anarch, packed with features like image stabilization, pin spotter mode, and rock-solid accuracy. Backed by a legendary no-questions-asked VIP lifetime warranty and unmatched customer service, Vortex has you covered. Ready to upgrade your gear? Visit maplehillgolf.com and search Vortex to see the full lineup. Vortex Golf, you can bet on it.
Buying and selling a home can be a stressful process. Hey, it's Jen Latta from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. The We Sell group at Keller Williams has a goal of making it stress-free for everyone. Their passion is people, their availability is unmatched, something I'm experiencing firsthand while I search for a lake home to enjoy Wisconsin summers even more. Rob and Nick are there every step of the way, not just for their sellers, but also to potential buyers and their agents to bring in as many strong offers as possible. Get started today at wesell.kw.com. That's wesell.kw.com.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Thanks to everyone for sticking with us. Again, if you're looking for Brewers Red Sox, you can find that, of course, on 620 WTMJ, the pregame show underway. The flagship, and of course, the Madison home of your Milwaukee Brewers, 100.5 ESPN Madison. But we roll on Wilde and Tausch on ESPN Milwaukee, 94.5, and of course, the YouTube channels. Time now for Wonelli.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Wonelli
on Wilde and Tausch.
We're going to fix the college football playoff again.
I didn't know it was broken.
Neither did I, but they already corrected the seeding last week, saying that they're going to go to straight seeding as opposed to rewarding the conference champions like they did last year when Boise State and Arizona State got first-round byes. All the conferences are having like little meetings this week, and the SEC can't get aligned on how they want to do byes in the college football playoff. The latest proposal from several schools is they want to do, I think they're calling it a 5+11 model, which is 5 automatic bids for the 4 Power 4 conference champions and then the best at-large team like a Boise State. And then 11 at-large bids so that the SEC could try and say, well, strength of schedule, look how good our conference is, let's get 8 of those 11 at-large bids coming from the SEC. The Big Ten, it would probably favor as well, given the strength of schedule. Tausch, where do you think the college football playoff is going to go if this thing does expand to 16 teams, which is also something that's going to be floated at? Apparently that needs to be decided before December 1st. There's a lot going on with the college football playoff.
There is. I think it was saw yesterday the SEC, I think his name is Sankey, the commissioner. He had come out and basically said that we're not going to listen to the NCAA anymore. I think that's a couple years down the road. They're going to break off. And as we've seen with the money, the SEC and the Big Ten are ruling the roost. Everybody else is going to be fighting for scraps. So what's going to happen, and I actually like this. I mentioned something similar to this last year because I felt this was the way this was going. Conference championship games, they're cute. I think basketball, they still have a good spot because you can have that miraculous run and get in. But the idea of Ohio State didn't even play in the Big Ten championship game last year, if my memory is correct.
That is correct. It was Penn State and Oregon.
So what are we doing? What are we doing? Make it bigger, because I understand you got to bring revenue in. Have more teams scrapping for a spot to get in a Big Ten playoff, an SEC playoff, and have the 1 versus 8. If the 8 knocks off the 1, the 8 is in, and the 1 can still get an at-large. So I think the thing the SEC and the Big Ten are going to look at and say, how can we get more eyeballs at the end of the year and not just have Iowa playing Indiana in a Big Ten chant, which I don't think will ever happen. But you could have an Iowa-Indiana game at Iowa's place in December for who wins gets in the college football playoff. That's sexy. Wisconsin, maybe they struggle early, get good at the end, start finding themselves. They sneak into a 7 slot. Hey, we got to go over to Oregon in December, and as a 7 seed, we can knock off that 2 seed, and we're in the big dance. That has some sex appeal to me.
So it's not a
lot of
conference
sexy going on there.
Big sexy. It's not a conference tournament per se. You would just play those matchups at the end. Like, if the 8 beats the 1, they then don't advance to play the next team in the Big Ten.
The 8 is in.
I couldn't agree with you more on the conference championships at this point. It's not like the NFL plays a NFC North championship game at the end of the season.
Last year,
well, they did last year, but it's not scheduled.
Fun.
That's my question: is if you do this, the NFL doesn't need it. You're basically becoming the NFL with 16 playoff teams, right? There's actually more playoff teams in college football than there are in the NFL playoffs. They're at 14. I understand you don't want to lose revenue. I understand you're trying to solve a problem. I don't love anything about the conference after the conference season is over. If you're going to go to 16, you're going to go to 16. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I was the one who was pushing for this to be expanded. Barry Alvarez and I against you, and it's become more convoluted. I like it less and less every day. Whoa, Nelly.
You like it less and less every day?
I do. Every time they do something, I like it less.
You've had on anything.
And it was pretty lukewarm. I do love the concept at the end of the season because, again, we have all decided that we just want to be entertained. And that is where I'm coming from on this prism.
Mm-hmm.
Because do I think it's great that college players, now they're getting paid, are going to be playing 14, 15. And now if you end up doing what I think they're going to end up doing, which is the 1-8, 2-7, 3-6, 4-5, adding that one more game to everybody's docket, and you run the table and you go win a championship, you're looking at 17 weeks of football for college athletes, which is a lot. Plus, I think they still have to go to school. I don't know for sure. I think they still have to go to school. So there's still other things that they have to do. But, man, I'll say that week all of a sudden gets a lot more interesting. You have your rivalry weekend, and it could potentially be, let's run this thing back, Michigan, Ohio State, Minnesota, Wisconsin. Maybe Wisconsin runs the tail as a 2 seed. Minnesota sneaks in as a 7, and that gets in. And then you're still going to have the controversy with Sells of, well, that 3 seed from the Big Ten, I think they probably are better than the 2 seed for the the second best team, even though that 3 seed lost to a 6 seed in the Big Ten, that 3 seed should still be in the 16-team playoff. Oh, well, Oklahoma State over here in the Big 12, they have some pretty good wins. You still get all that fodder for all of us just scoundrels to eat at the end of the season. We can debate it and eat it and
not gonna
feed
lie,
the machine.
I was on board until you just outlined it that way, and that sounds more confusing than what we currently have.
A little convoluted, yeah.
No, but
scoundrels.
Here's the thing that you always need to remember. You need to have drama. You need to have that feed to feed this machine. The big college football machine, the sports media industrial complex machine. This feeds it in a big way. You want to be that food. You need to have that food. And all of us just psychopaths out here just want it. And we're going to want more. And that's how you continue to grow. So that's what they're going to do.
How are you going to fix the college football playoff? With psychopaths and scoundrels.
Whoa, Nelly.
That's the plan.
Wouldn't it be fun, though, if Wisconsin at the end of the year sneaks into the 8? It's been a down year, but we sneak in at that 8 spot in the Big Ten, and we have to go to Columbus. And if you shock the world into Columbus at the end of the year, wouldn't that be great? That is something that I can get on board with. Well, that'd be more work.
While we're on the subject,
but you got to feed the scoundrels.
Got to feed the scoundrels.
I get it.
And go to school, sort of.
While we're on the topic of college football, there's an article I stumbled across on ESPN.com this week. My favorite thing.
Power rankings in tiers.
Tiers of college football quarterback situations entering the 2025 season. This is according to college football writer David Hale. There are 20 tiers for the 136 FBS programs.
Which is related to Alan Hale? Skipper?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Nathan Hale. Not sure what he did.
High school.
Yeah.
He's got a high school named after him in West Dallas.
What tier do you think the Wisconsin Badgers are on out of 20? Billy Edwards Jr., the starting quarterback who is confirmed at this point, right, Tausch? Like that, they're not changing that? Like they're going into the season saying he's the guy?
You have to call the analyst up.
Oh, okay. Sorry, we'll call him another time. Yeah. What tier out of 20 do you think the Badgers are on?
Do you have that guy's number? Because that was a piece of information I'd be curious about.
I would say 8.
Tier 8
a little
is
bit above
Tausch's
middle
guess.
of the pack, yeah.
Jason?
By the way, Jesse, this is incredibly stupid. Like, if I'm just being honest. We're now tiering. We're tiering 20 different sections of tierdom. Like
Tier 1, top of the class.
I'm fine with tiering teams, tiering NFL quarterbacks. I mean, how many starting quarterbacks in college football can you name right now?
Not many.
Okay. So what are we doing?
But it's also May. Come September, I'll be able to name.
Yeah, by November you'll know like 6.
Well, the correct answer is tier 15 for the Wisconsin Badgers.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's not great.
How good was Billy Edwards Jr. at? Was it Wake Forest and then Maryland, or was it Maryland and then Wake Forest?
It was definitely Maryland last year.
Maryland was last year, yeah.
Okay. How good is he? Like, what did he do last year?
He was good. We don't know. We have to see. We don't know.
Somebody call the analyst, damn it.
We should add him on today. Tier 15, by the way, is divided into 2 subcategories. Tier 15A, we used to be somebody top recruits.
All right.
And Tier 15B, we used to be somebody established starters.
No. I'm done.
Wow.
Whoa, Nelly. Yeah, that's a rap sheet for me.
Not having that one, huh?
Jesse, you were so excited to have something with 20 tiers.
20 tiers seems like it's like a monopoly of tiers.
And then that, just wait a second, you went 15 tiers, and there's a subset of that tier.
Yeah, so there's actually like 25 tiers.
I can't. Yeah, I can't do it.
You sound defeated.
Yeah, that was
tough show today, huh?
Like,
Bishop Sankey.
I don't. Yeah.
Mason Rudolph says it's good to be wanted as he takes first-team reps at Steelers OTA practices. What do you think, guys?
Yeah, good for Mason. I think it's good that he feels that way. We all want to feel wanted. So it's great that you feel that way.
Jesse, do you feel wanted right now?
I do not. I do not. I wish I would have left with the Brewers on ESPN Madison.
I am, again, we did talk about Aaron Rodgers and Terry Bradshaw, who's clearly not a fan of this idea of him coming to Pittsburgh. So Mason Rudolph has one fan in Terry Bradshaw. So he's got that going for him, which is nice. All right, we will wrap up the show.
I got a hunch Terry Bradshaw won't be a fan of him when the Steelers are 2-14, but Mason Rudolph's leading the charge. I'm sure Terry will be really, if he's still on Fox, which I'm sure he will be, I'm sure he'll be super excited about his team.
I would think so. All right, we're going to wrap things up next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. The best source for every piece of NFL news you need to know.
The people there made it a really great trip. The people in Green Bay were really nice, like literally driving ESPN people around themselves.
ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter is on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy every Wednesday morning at 7:30. Sponsored by Island Resort and Casino.
The Pancake Palace in Green Bay was outstanding. So really nice trip.
On 94.5 ESPN, ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube, and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Truck drivers, are you tired of an outdated truck hurting your paychecks? At Schneider, we add new trucks to our fleet every year to keep drivers moving and racking up the miles. Our easy-to-use technology is designed to keep you safe and comfortable while also boosting your income potential. So, are you ready to get behind the wheel of a more reliable ride? Find jobs near you and apply now at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
ESPN Wisconsin's Brian Bulaga here for my new friends at Surfside. There's only one thing better than Surfside and golf, and that's Surfside iced teas and lemonade plus vodka on the golf course. This golf season, there's no better drink to enjoy on the golf course. Surfside is light, refreshing, and made with real vodka and real brewed tea. Plus, there's only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, and 0 bubbles. That's right, no carbonation. Cheers to hitting the fairway, and cheers to Surfside. It's tea time. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
Looking to transform your home with stylish furniture and home accessories without breaking the bank? At your local IKEA in Oak Creek, they believe everyone deserves a beautiful and affordable living experience that enhances your everyday life. From comfortable and fashionable sofas and sectionals, to kitchens full of inspiration, to bedrooms designed to help you find your best sleep and relaxation, IKEA's home furnishing combines form and function to fit any lifestyle and budget. Visit IKEA Oak Creek today or explore their collection online at ikea.com/US.
Whether you're a local who wants to enjoy a night out or you're planning to visit Milwaukee, enjoy an artfully stylish experience at St. Kate the Arts Hotel, conveniently located in the heart of downtown Milwaukee's Theater District. With deluxe accommodations, culinary creativity, on-site art galleries, artist in residence, and nightly live music, you'll enjoy every element of your stay at St. Kate. Learn more and book your stay at stkatearts.com.
Hey, it's Brad Nortman, and I've got to tell you about my go-to car wash, Tsunami Express. Get your ride looking its best and ride the wave at Tsunami Express Car Wash, Milwaukee's fan favorite for that perfect shine. Sign up for a monthly membership and enjoy unlimited washes for less than $1 a day. Skip the wait with the fast lane and take advantage of great perks. With locations in Midtown Milwaukee, Waukesha, Greenfield, Oak Creek, and Mount Pleasant, Tsunami Express has you covered. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat. Visit TsunamiExpress.com to learn more.
Hi, it's John Reitz from Great Midwest Bank. Looking to simplify your everyday banking? Our checking and savings accounts offer the tools you need, plus the friendly, simply local service you deserve. Enjoy competitive rates, 24/7 online and mobile banking, and real people ready to help right here in your community. Whether your checking balance is at midnight or stopping by one of our branches at noon, Great Midwest Bank has you covered with a variety of new and improved account options designed for your unique needs. Great Midwest Bank, simply local and member FDIC.
Forget average. At Exterior Pros, they bring the heat. They're not here to meet standards, they're here to smash them. From the first swing of the hammer to the final reveal, they're leveling up your home with every window, every shingle, and every single detail. This isn't just a remodel, it's a glow up for your house. Built tough, built beautiful, built to turn heads. Want in? Let's go. Lock in your project now and save $3,000. Exterior Pros, where bold meets built. Trust the pros and visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
I remember the nights when we were young, dumb, and wild and free. When I closed my eyes, I could see you in my sweatshirt. Dancing around like
Wilde and Tausch. I'm going to catch the end of OTA practice over at Ray Nitschke Field / the Hudson Center. We'll see if the rain holds out. Tausch, what else do I need to be on top of here today? We talked about the offensive line. I'm going to be paying attention to that. I'm going to be paying attention to the wide receivers. I was thinking, I'm very curious. The position that I think is strongest on their roster is safety. Right? Evan Williams, Javon Bullard, Katan Oladapo, Zane Anderson. All those guys started a game last year, at least one. I'm curious what the pecking order is. My guy Evan Williams, the Micah Hyde of 2025, is still the running mate.
Evan Williams is going to be the guy. I would be shocked if he's not next to X. And then, Bullard figuring out different ways. And this is where that Jaire piece will come into play, because you're going to have to try and find – it's going to mimic a little bit of like what the O-line is. Find your best 5-6 guys and then figure out how do we piece all this together to make this thing go. But the fun part about this is there's not any glaring like, oh, my gosh. But there's a lot of spots where it's up in the air. And it's hopefully up in the air because you have really good players that are competing for it, and it's not going to be guys just winning by default, winning their jobs by default. But I don't know how this is possible. I think this year's camp will be more competitive when it comes to job spots than last year. Mm-hmm. And last year, the team was younger and more unproven. This team should, in essence, be more proven and older, and I think there's going to be more open competition for spots. If you believe what Goody and Matt LaFleur are telling you, it is going to be – there's probably 6 or 7 spots that are wide open, whereas last year it was what? A safety, you had a right guard. There wasn't the same amount of what's going on, and, of course, the wide receiver position, figuring out how that's going to shake out.
So that's the guy I'm curious about. The reason I brought up safety before we go is that – what is Javon Bullard going to be? Again, we don't know how the Jaire situation is going to end. We talked about it yesterday. There's a power play involved here of, I'm coming without restructuring the contract to try and speed things along. But if he's back, where's Javon Bullard going if he's not going to be the nickel and if he's not going to be the safety, here's a second-round pick who is kind of a man without a country a little bit.
Well, I think Hobbs, what is Hobbs going to do? There is a lot of TBDs yet. There's a ton of TBD going on. And I don't think that's a bad thing. The problem is you're already cutting your offseason short. Training camp, how are you going to decipher this? And I think the problem is you're going to have to go through 3 or 4 weeks of a regular season to really get a feeling of how this thing is going to shake itself out. I don't know if you'll get all the answers when you're only going to have 12 or 13 padded practices and probably not going to play a ton in preseason football?
Well, it all starts today, the first of 6 OTA practices, followed by the mandatory minicamp June 10th through the 12th, and then they are off until training camp opens around July 20th-ish is when that window figures to be open. So we will see how things play out during training camp. We'll see what we find out today. I do not know who I'm talking to. I know I'm talking to Matt LaFleur, and I know I'm talking to Jordan Love. I do not know who the other players are since we don't have locker room access. We've got selected players being brought to us, so we'll see who those players are. We'll talk about what we saw tomorrow, and we'll do it again then. Thanks for coming along for the ride with us. Have a great day. Take care. Be good.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman, here to tell you about my friends at Bank 5-9. Everywhere I go throughout the area, I see Bank 5-9, and it's no wonder why. Not only do they have 14 branch locations, but their employees spend nearly 9,000 hours each year volunteering in the communities that they serve. That's on top of the financial support that they provide to several hundred nonprofits right here in southeastern Wisconsin. If you're looking for a true local community bank, check them out today at bank59.com. Member FDIC.
Why is life better with American Family Insurance? Because every policy comes with something very special. A trusted agent who's there to help protect your dreams by finding the right coverage at the right price. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto.